Welcome to the Bonsai Movie Crew. I'm Karen. I'm hosting this week. With me always is...
Matt.
Joseph.
Wow. Well, Joseph, do we have any news this week?
I didn't really get a lot of news this week, but I do have something that you guys will enjoy hearing.
Oh.
Hold on a minute. Oh, I didn't even write this one down. It's on my phone.
Are we going to mention the James Cameron thing?
What about him?
Where he said that.
Oh, yeah, this does actually pertain to James Cameron.
Yeah, toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity. Like, dude, pull your balls back down, man. Like,
Toxic. Testosterone is a toxin we have to work out of our bodies. Well, I think you're just upset because, like Karen said, you're getting old. You probably ain't got none.
He's losing it. That's what happens. You get old and you start to lose your masculinity.
no, Hollywood took his toxic masculinity.
No, it's not toxic.
Or, well, sorry. They took away his testosterone.
You know, I watched it.
They're making him a girl.
I actually watched a video where they were saying that, like, one of the ways to conquer civilizations is to get rid of their masculinity, and that's what America's trying to do, so we won't fight
I read
back.
that too somewhere, I think.
I seen it on a video, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get us to where we won't fight back when they want to change everything.
Fuck that. Come to my house. I'll show you the fucking dark side of a gun.
They haven't met me yet. They think just because I'm a girl, boy,
No,
I'll hit them out of left.
Karen's got all the testosterone.
Yeah,
This girl's almost got a beard.
I'm telling you, man.
Like, there are girls here that are going to fight too. It's not just testosterone.
They won't see me coming.
Whoa. Whoa.
I'm telling you.
I also watched another guy that was talking about how what they're doing to people now is you got all these kids that are cheering for communism. Well, what they're telling the kids is we haven't had true communism. So all these people are thinking, the bad part of communism was we just have the communism that hasn't been true communism. No, I hate to tell you, there's only one communism, and it don't work.
It's communism. All right.
No, I just find that so funny. Like, we haven't had true communism yet. That's why it hasn't worked. What? I'm sorry.
Well, see, the one thing is, in order for communism to work, you'd have to take the humans out of it.
Oh.
That's how any government...
That's the problem. That's us. We fucked up.
So we just need robots?
Yep, pretty much.
With really any government...
We fucked up yet again.
With any government, it's easy to write down on paper, but when it really comes to it, the people are the ones who screw it up.
Oh, every time.
Sounds good in theory.
But you're going to fuck it up.
So, here's a little bit of James Cameron news for you here.
More?
James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez swore a blood oath to make Alita Battle Angel 2.
Ah.
So,
They better. Well, we don't need James Cameron now.
This is from today, actually.
I don't know if we want James Cameron involved now.
Yeah.
Says...
Well, I don't know, but Alita isn't a woman, but he would take the masculinity out of her. He'd make her a...
Well, she's not masculine.
No.
Well,
she's kind of
she's
badass,
feminine,
but
she's
she's
a berserker.
Yeah, but that's what
She's a
Hollywood
warrior.
wants. They want strong female leads.
I agree.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
they- and
I know what
every
you're
white
saying.
male is a bad guy.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm just saying I don't know if we want James Cameron involved just because we don't like him
honestly.
anymore.
Let's just put Robert Rodriguez in there.
I heard
and-
I seen somewhere that they're expected Avatar 2 not good. I seen somewhere that they said Avatar 2 is not a good movie. Like,
I haven't read anything on it because, quite honestly, I really don't care.
No.
Me either.
I don't care about blue fucking aliens.
The only reason it was
You mean
so
blue-
big when it
blue
first...
Pocahontas?
Yeah, blue Pocahontas
The
dances with wolves in space.
Yeah.
Hey, no, Dances with
That's
Wolves
exactly
was a
what
good
it is, though.
movie. Dances
Exactly
with
what
Wolves
it
was
is.
a good movie, though.
Yes, it was. But
Yeah,
this
that's where
is
you're
Dances
wrong
with
about Avatar.
No. The movie is Dances with Wolves in space. That's what it is, just on another planet in the future.
It's really any Indian-based movie in space. So yeah.
I guess
So
we'll
anyway,
go
it says here the momentum for Alita Battle Angel 2 grows as James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez swear a blood oath to make the Alita sequel. After years of developing the live-action manga adaptation for himself, James Cameron eventually passed the baton to Robert Rodriguez to make Alita so he could focus on the Avatar sequels. The 2019 movie proved to be a possible success for the 20th century, as it made over $400 million worldwide. The movie was meant to launch a franchise, but Disney's acquisition largely put plans for the future on hold.
Well, right there,
blah,
the
blah,
problem
blah.
is
Well,
Disney.
here's the thing. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. So we talked about the Green Ranger, and we wanted him to get a little bit more recognition.
Yeah.
And we started to see it. We started bitching about Alita 2 not getting made.
Maybe somebody out
Now,
there's listening
I'm telling
to
you.
us.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what,
telling
that's
you.
what I told you, man. They're listening.
They might
told
be,
you last
but at
week
least
they're
they're listening in a good way.
Yeah, we're pushing in the right direction.
Yeah, I think we're getting some traction here, man. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good. So
In all the right ways.
in all the right ways. So there's a few trailers out this week if you guys want to check them out. There's a new trailer for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Actually, it's called Across the Spider-Verse. Bringing back some of the old characters.
There's a movie based on the Beatles called Across the Universe.
I think that's kind of the idea.
Well, that's stupid.
Well, kind of. The movie looks awesome. I love the first one. The first one, like the
I heard the
art.
cartoon was
That's what I'm talking about. That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, it's a cartoon adaptation.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And it's really good. There's a trailer or teaser, I should say, for Scream 6 out already. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet.
Nope.
No?
and I probably won't.
I mean, I'm
agree.
gonna watch it. It looks like it's a way they move away from Woodsboro. It looks like they're in the city because the whole scene takes place on a subway, and you see all of the 4 survivors from the last movie there. Nev Campbell will not be in it, and I don't know if what's her face? God damn it, Monica.
Oh,
Gail Weathers.
Yeah, fucking.
She
last I knew she was
She might be in this one. If she is, her death
is imminent.
is almost inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the girl who plays Sydney?
No, that's
Nev
Nev Campbell.
Campbell.
She's not returning.
Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox.
Yeah, last I knew she was. But yeah, her death is imminent.
I hope so too, because if you're gonna move forward with this franchise,
You have to get rid of all the old ones.
and if you're gonna move forward with it, and you're gonna do something, and you're trying to do something new with it, do something new with it,
Yeah.
and get rid of the
Isn't
old
this one
ones.
just a copycat killer, basically?
They've all been copycat killers.
Yeah,
they all- I
Billy and Stu were the
yeah,
originals.
they died in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know. I didn't know. I thought they were the same killer through a lot of them though. After Billy and
Oh no, the killers will die at the end of each one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I seen a thing. It was a guy who put it in his video, I guess, but it had the Matthew Lillard part in that where he goes, "Oh, you hit me with the phone."
You hit me with the phone, you dick.
Like me and Jeremiah were talking about it, and I told him what I told you. I was like, I'm probably not gonna watch it, and he's like, I probably am, and I was like, you guys go right ahead.
I'm definitely gonna watch. I have to watch.
I said, you go right ahead. You go ahead.
It's just
you
one of
go
those
ahead.
things. Like I'm a completionist. I gotta
Well,
watch.
it was
the movie.
funny. I said, you go right ahead,
And the last one wasn't bad. It just wasn't Wes Craven.
It wasn't good.
Well, there's no Wes Craven movies now.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, it wasn't good though. Like it's not. It's just not a Scream movie anymore. It's not. I'm just
disagree.
not there.
I liked it. It's not the best one for sure.
But it was funny because I said I'm not gonna watch it, and he was like,
Oh,
"Yeah,
yeah.
you know when to quit though, and I don't."
Yeah, right. That's how I am. I don't know when to quit.
That was how it was with the Saw movies. I was like, at a certain point, I was like, I'm done. I'm not watching anymore. And he's like, Yeah, I'm gonna keep going.
I'm gonna keep
I'm
going.
like, you go right ahead.
I have to. At
I'm
this
out.
Point. Yeah, I've dedicated too much time.
I will say that-
I've dedicated. Let's see here. There's how many Scream movies? 5 now. So I've dedicated 10 hours of my life to this. I'm gonna go ahead.
I'm
continue.
done. I'm out.
So-
You guys let me know how it
I
is.
can't name one right off the bat, but there have been movies where I was like, the first one was bad, and I was like, oh, I gotta watch the second one.
Yeah. It's bad, isn't it? Yeah, you're like, God damn it. There's more of these.
And then there was one movie, I forget what it is though. I watched the first one, and I was like, the first one was so bad, but I was like, they got
Well,
the
that's like the
second one.
Terrifier. The
So I watched the
Terrifiers.
second one, and
like,
then the third one came out later, and I was like, ah!
well, that's like
I was done!
well, Terrifier.
I thought I was done.
Terrifier 2 just came out not long ago. And I keep hearing all this shit about this movie, how awesome it is and how fucking gory it is. You got people walking out of the theater. I'm like, I need to see this fucking movie. Everybody's like, yeah, but the first one sucks. I'm like, hold on. I can't watch the second one without watching the first one. Now you just turned me off of the whole idea.
I liked the first one a lot.
I'm going to have to watch it.
I
don't
loved
even
the
know
first
what movie
one.
you guys are talking about.
Terrifier.
Terrifier.
I loved the first
I knew
one.
the
I haven't
name.
seen the second one yet.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Whatever.
You'll like the first one. If you
I
haven't
probably
seen it.
will.
You will. I promise.
I just have to sit down and watch it.
I wouldn't lie to you.
So anybody who you guys ever see The Boys? The Boys?
Yeah. I haven't seen. No, I haven't seen it, but I want to, and I've seen bits and pieces.
I watched to where that girl killed the Asian family. I was like, this is sad, so I stopped watching it. That and it just wasn't good.
What Asian family?
And The Boys. When the girl
talking about the Amazon show, right?
Yeah.
Where the girl runs across that building and she like.
Oh yeah. That was in season 2.
Was it? Yeah. Well, I stopped watching
2.
there.
So anyway, they've got a
good
spin-off
show.
show coming to Amazon called Gen V. Essentially, I think it takes place like with these kids who are essentially have superhero abilities, but it takes place in a high school or something like that, or an academy of sorts. It's got the girl who plays the sort of receptionist / whatever for Vought in the original series. She's in it.
So it's X-Men.
No, it's weird.
It's gonna be The Boys, but it's gonna be for teenagers.
No. It's still gory as fuck.
Is
and
it?
Super violent. Yeah. It's not.
Yeah,
it's definitely not for teenagers.
It
Okay.
takes place in a high school. I'm just saying that's.
I was just
X-Men.
imagining a lot of drama and bullshit with.
No,
with,
there's a
superhero
lot of drama
powers.
anyway in The Boys, but
Yeah,
I think
but
in this case,
it's grown up drama.
Right. Well, this is like watching this. I'm like, there's still.
Matt's face.
That's grown up drama. It's all drama. Drama does not grow up. It just stays the same. Girls are fighting over boyfriends cheating and stuff. It's drama.
I'm 36 years old. I don't have time for that.
I don't deal with it either.
I don't have the patience.
Livy, like I'll talk to young people and they'll say something. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to listen to that.
Right.
It's stupid.
There's another. So that's a series coming to Amazon. It's a spinoff. I'll check it out for sure. I love The Boys.
I do too.
Everything you talk about, you're going to check out.
Yeah, I watch a lot of TV and movies, man.
Yeah, I have actually thought about giving up TV and just reading because nothing is good anymore.
I'm good, dude. I'd rather not.
I like
boring.
to read, but I mean, I really like movies and.
I like to shut my brain off and just watch a movie.
I really do like to mind numbing.
That's because with TV nowadays, that's what you're doing.
Well, yeah, I guess.
I spend a lot of time dealing with people and using my brain. I like to shut it off from time to time.
Yeah, same here. And then my last trailer that came out this week, and I haven't been talking a lot about trailers, but this week there was quite a few of them that came out that I was like, oh, that looks good. There's a movie coming to Netflix, I believe. It's got Chris Rock. Wait. Was it Chris Rock or was it Eddie Murphy? I think it was Eddie Murphy, actually. Let me check it real quick. But anyway, the movie's called You People. And it's a comedy with Jonah Hill. Yeah, Jonah Hill. Lauren London. Yeah, Eddie Murphy. And Julie. Oh, I didn't know Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in this, too. That's cool. Nia Long. A bunch of other people.
I used to watch...
David Duchovny's in here for some reason. A bunch of people, actually, a whole shitload of people. Rhea Perlman is in this. See, we're talking about people. Mike Epps is in here. So it's got a pretty stacked cast, it looks like, which is cool. Comedy, let's see here. I'll give you a little short plot synopsis. Follows a new couple and their families who find themselves examining modern love and family dynamics amidst clashing cultures, societal expectations, and generational differences. It looked like, from what I saw from the short clip with Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy, was because he was white and Eddie Murphy's black, blah, blah, blah. That whole thing.
So, in other words, woke.
I mean, well, they've been doing this for a long
Yeah,
time.
no.
This is kind of nothing new.
No.
This is nothing new, though.
No, there was that one movie that they just remade a while back that was made in like the 50s where
With
it was remade with Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher, yeah.
Yeah, and that came out in the
And,
50s
Bernie
where
Mac, I
the
think,
white
was in it?
the white guy
Yeah.
showed up at his black girlfriend's dinner
Yeah.
and they didn't like it.
Yeah, and I watched that movie, but that wasn't...
It was a
I'm
remake.
just saying, these are going to have... This one's probably going to have woke things through it. All Hollywood movies do.
It is what it is, man. I mean, you just have to accept it, I guess.
I bet there's going to at least be one gay couple.
There might be.
Push that.
There might be. There could be some gay people in
I
there.
don't think there's
really...
anything wrong with having one gay couple or so. I
No.
mean, like that's the dynamic nowadays.
Yeah.
There is
Pushed
one.
in our face is what
There is a lot of, but you gotta understand
It would be
nowadays, man. There's a
pushed in
lot
your
of.
face if all of them were
I was gonna
gay.
say, well, you gotta understand
got
that
one,
nowadays
that's
there's
the
a
dynamic.
lot of gay couples out there.
that doesn't
anymore,
make it
you know?
right.
I don't think we're anybody to say what's right or wrong for
if
people.
there's-
The Bible.
Oh boy, no.
If there's
Yes.
if there's one in the movie that's just representing the
culture,
the
and there's
people
nothing wrong with that.
in the country, is being inclusive to all of the people in the country. That's all it's doing. That's not necessarily woke, is my argument.
Yeah, and it's people.
It'd be
are-
different if the entire cast was being made to portray gayness. That's
or something like that.
yeah. But then that's a whole different movie.
But
You're
see,
probably
then-
not going to watch.
But then what they're going to do is they're going to put all that in there. But what they're going to leave out, they want to be inclusive, but they're going to leave out Christians
not necessarily.
because Hollywood is
Let's
pushing
not,
out Christians.
Yes, but let's not jump any guns here on something
You
we
don't-
haven't seen.
Yeah, you don't know
So,
that. So I'm just saying.
But anyway, that's all I've got this week for news and trailers.
Okie dokie. So then we'll jump into what we've been watching. Matthew, what have you got?
I just watched Velocipaster. And I had to take a break from that.
Wait, like as in you?
No, I watched the whole
Okay.
movie, but then after a while, I had to take a few days to process.
I didn't watch anything for a couple of days.
I understand.
That was still rattling around in there.
Look, I get it. I get it because that movie is it's a lot.
I've never seen it.
You
I know
should.
the plot.
You
I'm
should.
gonna have to because
It's one of the best bad movies I've ever seen.
It really is. Like
And I'm going to tell you, man, the raptor costume is a work of art.
it really is. It really is. And the transformation scenes. Chef's kiss. I'm telling you, like it's amazing.
There's a part where the guy's running and they just like skip the movie a couple times.
The editing.
Oh, and the story. I have never heard such a great story with Christian ninjas.
it's
Yes.
almost Shakespearean.
Yes, 100%. Never has there been such a perfect story told.
Okay,
Yep, that might be the
you're
second.
telling me this because you're like Joseph is gonna fucking hate
No,
this movie.
that might be the second 10 out of 10 on this show.
Oh boy.
I'm not going to say 10 out of 10. Let's just say it's one of those movies that I watch and goes, I can't rate it.
If they made a second one, that's gonna be the one that Matt goes, shit, I thought I was done.
Damn it! I didn't know they were gonna do more. If that was the case, I would have never watched the first
And
one.
then he's gonna
No, it
shake
made
his hand
more
in the air and go, damn you, Karen.
It made more sense when I text Karen and she said, "Oh yeah, Matt, it's supposed to be bad." And I was like, "Good," because if it's not,
A name like Velocipaster, come on. I mean, it's supposed to be bad.
well, I thought it was like one of those movies like
It is
Rubber.
such a cool name, though.
Well, and when I told you about the scene where he literally like is waving and then they didn't even bother to put in a special effect, it just says insert special effect. Like it's supposed to be
the
bad.
pimp. The pimp. The pimp is.
Yep, the pimp.
What was his name?
I don't remember. It's been so long since I've seen it. So yeah, watch it.
I will check it out.
So that's all you got?
Yeah.
That's it.
It's like that filled my whole
After
week
that,
right there.
I had to process.
That filled my week up.
All right, Joseph.
Oh, and I watched Dog Soldiers.
Oh yeah,
I watched that today.
Yeah.
so.
Dog Soldiers. Oh, this is such a good movie.
That was a palate
It
cleanser
is.
after a few
Yeah.
days of dealing with it
Yeah,
in his head.
yeah. So it is in fact Christmas time. So I watched a Christmas movie.
The second one?
No, I watched Die Hard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
So, because I've got all the Die Hards on Blu-ray, all of them, because I like all of the Die Hard.
That's a
movies.
movie that should have stopped at one part too, but just kept going.
Yeah, like that's another one that like they kept making movies. I'm like, I'm there, you know. So and everyone's like, oh, that last one though with his kid, his son or whatever. Like that movie was awesome. I don't care what the good action sequences, great explosions, more nonsense.
Well, they got into a part and they just turned into action porn.
Exactly, and I'm okay with this.
And that has its place in
yeah,
cinema.
I love action porn, dude. Like, that's kind of like
that's one of my favorite.
Well, look what they did with the Fast and Furious movies. I hated the first 3. After that, dude, they turned into action movies. So, like, these movies are fucking awesome. Like,
I think I've only seen the first 2, actually.
No, after 3, dude, they're awesome.
I don't know
4
what
I didn't even care for really the first 2. So
I'm sorry to say.
First one was okay,
but I did like Tokyo Drift. I watched Tokyo Drift a lot.
That is my least favorite one.
I don't know why. I even remember watching it and like saying I like Tokyo Drift, and somebody was like, "Why?" And I was like, "I don't know."
And the only reason why I like 2 is because Paul Walker is still in it, and I like Paul Walker. But like after 3, like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, those movies are amazing. And as long as they keep making them, I'll keep watching them.
Jeremiah's seen every single one of them too. You guys just can't stop, can you? Like, you guys.
I told you.
I stopped watching them because I got tired of hearing this is the last job.
Yeah. It's always for family.
That's good. That's good.
When's the last one?
This one.
That's like the name of every Final Fantasy game has been called Final Fantasy. Like, is it though?
You know how many comedians I've heard make that joke? Like, I thought this was the Final Fantasy, but this was the last one.
Yeah. So, but yeah, dude. If like, obviously they're not going to make any more diehards because he's essentially retired. Because of what is
health reasons, he's got
doesn't it?
Alzheimer's or something.
Yeah,
does it?
It's degenerative. I'm not sure if it's Alzheimer's, but it's some kind of degenerative brain disease.
So, but I love all those movies, and eventually I'm going to get through all of them again because I'm just going to do it. I think my least favorite was the second one, though. It's still good, but it's still my least.
With Vengeance?
No, that's
the one
3.
with Samuel L. Jackson, isn't it?
No, that's 3.
Oh, that's 3.
That's 3? I thought that was 2.
2 takes place in an airport. Yeah, 2's in an airport.
Oh, well, because I used to watch with a Vengeance all the time.
Then I've never seen 2.
Yeah, 2's in an airport, and his wife's on a plane the whole time.
See, it's strange because I've seen 3. I've seen the one with Justin Long, and I've seen...
That's 4.
Yeah, I've seen another one, and then I finally saw one like a couple of years ago. I'd never seen one. So
there's 2, and then there's... 1, and then there's 2 that takes place on an airport, and then 3 is with Die Hard with Vengeance, which was with Samuel L. Jackson.
I've seen that was the first one I saw.
And then after that is the Justin Long one with his daughter and all that stuff. I think it takes place in Jersey and DC and all that. And then 5 takes place in I want to say Russia. I think it's Russia.
They go to a different country.
It's in a different country. He goes to Moscow and shit to like get his son back home, even though his son's like this like operative and shit. He's played by Jai Courtney.
I'm gonna get some crap.
It's another movie that Jai Courtney like that bombed for him, and even though he was awesome in it.
This is gonna get. I'm gonna get some hate for this, which is okay. I'm used to getting hate. I've only ever watched with Vengeance.
There's nothing wrong. That's probably the best one.
Like I said,
that's probably the best one.
I honestly, I saw With a Vengeance first, and then I saw.
That's probably my favorite.
I saw just the one with Justin Long, and then I made the comment to Jeremiah one time that I'd never seen the first one, and I think that was the only time he was ever gonna raise a hand to me. He was ready to hit me. No, I'm just kidding.
Help!
If I ever went back to watch them, I would just do 1, 2, 3.
They're all good. 3's still just the best. It was the best one. Fucking Samuel L. Jackson makes that movie. So.
Well, he makes most. I mean,
that's true. He makes pretty much everything. So, because Sam Jackson's the man. Motherfucker.
Nobody says motherfucker like him.
Nobody, dude. Nobody can tell a story or talk like him.
It's true.
He just makes everything sound more badass.
It's true.
I think I've seen a video where he was telling a kid's story.
Yeah.
Like,
go to sleep. Tell him like go to motherfucking sleep.
Go to motherfucking sleep.
I didn't see that part, but
and then after that, we watched that short 3-episode series on Netflix called The Killing Fields. It's a documentary or whatever, a docuseries about the Texas killing fields.
Oh, I saw the preview for that.
Yeah, so we watched that.
Is that a cartel thing?
No.
It's not a cartel thing? I figured it was cartel.
No, it's about these girls that were buried in this field in Texas, and they were all found like separately. So like they found like I think 3 of them were found a few weeks apart, and then some years later they found another one, and then years later they found another one, and so they called it the Texas Killing Fields or whatever.
Oh, well, see, I figured it was like hundreds of people in one field is what
No. There was they only found like a total of like 6 girls or some shit in this field, but because the girls ended up finding up dead there.
And what I heard, I don't know if it's in the documentary or not, but what I heard is that they found remnants of other bodies. So they think there might have been more, but the bodies were so old that
they just
there's no, they can't prove. They've just found like pieces that could have been part of a skeleton.
It was good.
You know?
I think that they could have gone into more detail with.
They probably just stuck with what they could prove.
Right, exactly. And see, series like that kind of piss me off because at the end there's never
a resolution.
There's no resolution at the end.
It's kind of like when you used to watch Unsolved Mysteries as a kid, and at the end you're like, "What? You don't know who did this?"
Yeah, right.
What?
It's called Unsolved Mysteries. If you do want a good 3-episode docuseries that does have a resolution, watch. Don't fuck with cats.
I've wondered what is that?
Yeah,
you guys haven't seen it?
I want to watch it, but I'm like,
totally watch
should
it.
I? Okay.
Yes, it is fucking good.
Yeah.
Like we were like,
what is it about?
Okay, so it's about these people on the internet who this kid was posting videos of him harming cats. He was harming cats.
They don't show that in the.
They don't show it in the documentary.
Okay.
But he ends up drowning these kittens.
Well,
there were like these people on the internet who was like part of this big cat community were like, okay, you need to flag this guy.
You don't fuck with cats.
You need to flag the cats. So like they were like, this kid is not going to stop with just cats. So they went on to find out that he actually he was murdering people too.
Wow.
And he was living over in another country, and he's from America, I think, or something like that. I can't remember exactly all the details. But if you watch the movie or the 3 episodes, it's only 3 episodes. I think each episode I think is an hour and a half long. Yeah. But like just little details throughout the series that you're like, what the fuck? And then at the end, it all comes together. You're like, holy shit!
Yeah.
So Fatal Attraction is a big deal. Like the movie, like the killer, really loves that movie and stuff. Yeah. So and at the end, that comes into play also. Yeah, just a bunch of stuff.
I will have to watch that then.
It's really good.
It's one I've gone back and forth with. Like,
I'm
gonna watch this.
It's totally worth it.
I don't want to watch it.
It's totally worth it.
I didn't see it. I didn't watch it because it always sounded like it was a comedy to me.
It's not a comedy.
Okay.
I'll have to give it a shot.
But it's really good. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
And then last but not least, last night we went ahead, and I didn't realize that this movie was out yet, but it's out on Amazon if anybody wants to check it out. It's called Run, Sweetheart, Run. I don't know if anybody's seen a trailer for that.
Sounds familiar.
It's about a girl who works for a lawyer in a firm, and she's working on becoming a lawyer herself or whatever. She goes out on a date with, or like this dinner date with one of the clients, I guess.
Yep.
And they have a great time, and then she comes home. They go back to his place, and like chaos ensues from there. Like he attacks her, and he's chasing her throughout the city the whole night, hunting her down.
I think I've seen a little thing for that a while
back. I think if you watched it, you'd really like it at the end there. I think you'd get into it. But it was a super, super good movie.
Yeah.
Like the lighting was awesome. The soundtrack was awesome. The fucking sound, the music itself, awesome. It was had this like 80s
set the tone, that dark synth wave. I love that.
Yeah, it was like a dark, kind of like what you would have gotten from like Near Dark.
See, Joseph, when you tell me that you think I would like a movie, that makes me want to watch it because I want to see what happened in this movie that makes you think I would watch. Well,
I can't tell you why because it'll give the movie away.
Yeah, what is it on?
It's on Amazon.
Oh, that's going to be a problem.
But it's really good, and I really like the actress in it. I think she did a great job. I also like the actor in it, the bad guy. He was in Game of Thrones as one of the Greyjoys, and he was a psycho in that too. So,
well, when you do something good,
I might have to wait till when, because I am going to get Amazon this year because there's a show coming out that I want to see.
Yeah,
that's supposed to be coming out this year on Amazon.
Okay, what is it? Is it a surprise?
It's Fallout.
Oh yeah, Fallout. Yeah, Fallout. That does look good though.
It does look really good. So
I'm thinking, but if you guys check out the movie for sure. I think you'll get into it for sure, Karen.
Yeah, I'm already intrigued.
Yeah, it's really good. She goes through it follows her through the whole fucking. It follows her through the whole fucking movie, and it just kind of progressively shows her get stronger as she goes.
Yeah.
And it's a really good movie, and she gets fucked up a lot in the movie, like a lot.
I like those movies.
But it was, and if I would say if I wanted to, whether or not I would watch it again, I would probably watch it again.
Yeah.
I really like watching movies where the main character gets like Nobody. Like I didn't get to see all that movie. I was watching here that movie Nobody. I like it where the main character gets really messed up and then just still keeps going.
Yeah. Well, this one, the ending kind of threw me for a little bit of a loop, and not in a good way. And I was just kind of like, eh. If they would have just left more of a mystery towards the end, I think it would have felt a little bit better. I think it would have been more. I think it would have felt like a better movie to me.
I really hate when there's a disappointing ending, and
it's not disappointing. It's just kind of like, that's where you went with it. Like, you know what I mean? It was one of those things. Like I felt like there was a bit more of a like this. I'd say the last third of the movie. You're
like going
all
back
right.
to like Doomsday. Like I really loved the whole movie, and then like I was like, that's how like.
Yeah, with the
you just rushed everything here at the end,
and then here we are. It's going slow as fuck at the end.
Well, no, it was like they just didn't know how to end it, so they were just like, Puh.
Yeah,
like this is what we're gonna do. Like,
all right,
yeah.
It's like having this great sex, and at the end you just get off missionary.
Yeah, like you fucked up.
Really, dude? Like he slobbers on you a little bit at the end, you know? Like, oh, dude, you know. Sorry.
Oh, shit. Anything else?
No.
That's all you got?
I don't even know where the fuck that came from. Sorry, guys.
Now to Karen.
Well, I didn't watch a damn thing other than like my YouTube shit, like watching the people I've been watching for on Watcher, and I don't really know if that really counts. So
YouTube.
I just finished
watch
that
all kinds
shit
of
up.
YouTube.
So.
I did forget. I did watch a show that it came out years ago, and I used to like it. Well, I don't know if it was that long ago. It was a couple years ago. It was called The Boonies. And it's about, it's like different people, but like one guy's like, his name's Bear Claw, and he like lives like a pioneer beyond the grid.
You said Bear Claw, I was just thinking of a donut, man.
He takes an Indian name and he dresses kind of like an old Indian, lives in a teepee and stuff.
Why does this sound familiar? Maybe I saw, was it on cable or something? Like, I think I saw like previews.
And then there's a guy who kind of reminds me of myself named Joe Ray.
Joe Ray.
I think it's Joe Ray, and he lives in a cave.
He has two first names.
He lives in a cave. He lives in caves because him and his wife used to go cave diving and stuff, but his wife died, and he just wanted to get away. So he went and lives in caves now. And I think that's cool. I always thought it would be cool to live in a cave. I did realize, though, he's like got the long beard and the shorts and the sleeveless shirt, which is like what I do in the summer. But I always thought it would be cool to live in a cave, except for there's one thing where he like will go and like squeeze through parts and stuff. And no, I'm just finding a wide opening and staying there
because I'm not living in a cave. There's bats in there.
Yeah, I'm good. Get on that, man. I ain't getting shit on my bats all night.
Oh yeah, no, there's no bats living in. He's not getting pooped on stuff. He has it set up to where his bed's there. He's got different caves where he's got like his food and stuff. He's like not in like cave at the beginning. He's in the caves. Deep, dark in there.
Yep, nope. I saw The Descent.
Yeah, right? That's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what popped in my head.
Nope.
Yeah, but
I saw how that movie ended.
The Descent that scared me out of fucking caves permanently.
Yeah.
Like.
Not happening. I'm not spelunking. Nope.
I would like to live in cave, but there's a part where like I can't get to the part where it's like too small because I'm claustrophobic. I have a fear of being like.
That was the worst parts of The Descent for me was when they were like trying to squeeze through parts. I'm like, go back.
Yeah, it wasn't even the monsters. It was the fucking claustrophobic.
Yeah, like the monsters, I'll hit them, but like I'm not squeezing through there.
My big thing is I don't mind a space if it's too small and if somebody knows I'm there. Because my thing is getting stuck and
That's
dying
what
there.
I'm saying. No, no, that's scary as shit. You can't move the earth. You're stuck. You're dying. You're there. Like, what are they gonna do? Crank the cave up? No.
No, yeah.
You're done.
Yep.
She's
not lying. She's got a point.
I mean, what are they gonna do?
You don't fuck with Earth, dude. Like, it's bigger than us.
Yeah, they're not gonna be able to like, come in there and be like, okay, all right, get out.
Lift it up, boys.
Move out.
Help me pick up this giant boulder.
Okay, off of it.
Put some butter in there and like
guys
squeeze out.
ruining it.
This ain't The Simpsons.
But there's also a guy who lives in him and his wife live in a treehouse, which is cool.
Now I can do that.
Yeah, I can do that. I can live in a tree. I've got less of a fear of falling than anything.
And then there's a guy, Bear Claw, which I think is cool because he travels. He in Iowa.
Oh yeah.
There's a nice text to me. And then there's a guy who lives in Michigan, but it's around these like Beaver Island. It's like all about off the grid, beyond the grid, below the grid,
right.
above. And it's a really good show. If you get the chance to watch it, it's on which one? Hulu.
That sounds fun. Okay, well, let's get into the movie.
I like shows about living off the grid.
You got a plot synop.
Yeah, I do. Calm down.
Yeah, I'm just asking, man.
Well, first of all, it's Gremlins in 1984.
Yeah, if you don't know what that is.
It's PG, 1 hour and 46 minutes.
Starring, was it PG?
Yeah, it was PG.
Was it really? I thought it was PG-13.
I have trivia about that.
Hold on, I thought it was
it's
rated
become a point wherever we say
No.
something about the movie, Karen goes, I got trivia on that.
It's PG, baby.
What movie did we watch? We watched last week was Batman. Oh, that was PG-13. Okay.
Starring Zach Galligan, Phoebe Cates, and I didn't write anybody else down because who cares?
Gizmo.
Howie Mandel plays Gizmo.
Directed by Joe Dante and written by Chris Columbus. And the synopsis is, when Billy Peltzer is given a strange but adorable pet named Gizmo for Christmas, he inadvertently breaks the 3 important rules for caring for a mogwai and unleashes a horde of mischievous gremlins on a small town. So, my answers to our normal questions is yes and yes. I would tell other people to watch it, and I would watch it again.
I have a little bit of trivia for this movie.
Yeah.
My little dog's name is Gizmo, too. He's named after Gizmo.
Aww.
Yeah. He's a Yorkie, or not a Yorkie. He looks like a Yorkie, but he's actually a Chihuahua Schnauzer mix. And he's a fucking baby. He's a baby. He hates everybody except whoever lives in my house.
I didn't write this down, but they modeled Gizmo off of a Japanese chin, an actual dog.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I believe yeah.
Okay, because I had questions when you said Japanese chin.
What chin?
What chin have you seen on a Japanese person that looks like that?
They did something with their chin.
Japanese chin.
Like, he had like a beard that was really long and it happened to look like that. Like, yeah, so I met this guy.
I want to model the creature
I had
after.
questions.
No, it's a dog. It's a breed of dog.
That's funny.
Anyway, Matt, would you recommend and would you watch again?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
And I am waiting until my niece gets to a certain age, and I'm going to show her this movie, and I'm going to get her a little Gizmo doll and everything.
Good job.
Like, that's the reason I got this movie, is because I want her to see it when she gets old. Because my brother, there's certain things I'll ask my brother, and I didn't even have to ask my brother, because I know for a fact he wants me to show. It's going to be a fight to show that to her before he does.
Fair enough.
Which, if he wants to, I'll let him do it because it's his kid.
Yeah. What about you, Joseph?
Yeah, get your own. Yeah, totally. I would totally recommend. If you haven't seen fucking Gremlins, I mean, of course, watch the movie.
I'm just going through the motions, man.
Right, I understand. Yeah, if you haven't seen Gremlins, I mean, it's just one of those movies that, like, I'm pretty sure every American has seen.
Even if you
haven't.
You know, there's people that even, I bet,
you should have just been born or something, you know.
Yeah, like if you haven't seen Gremlins, then you obviously are going out of your way to not watch Gremlins.
There's people out there now that I know that haven't seen Gremlins, but still know who Gizmo is.
Right, exactly. And I would 100% recommend. This movie is a classic.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a fucking classic.
Well, the first thing I want to point out, just because it bothered me when I was a teenager, and it bothers me now, and I think it's because, you know, as a teenager, you're just starting to drive and stuff. Like, his dad knew his car was a piece of shit, and he buys him another pet. He already had a dog.
Right.
Like, why wouldn't he pay to get his car fixed? Or
his dad wasn't that great to begin with.
I was just saying, his
dad's
not exactly all there.
I know, like, I'm just
like,
thinking.
if you notice when he was going to use every invention, he was like terrified.
Well, he was, dude. He had that look on his face.
I'm just thinking to myself, like, that just shows how irresponsible the dad is, not to mention the son. You know what I mean? Like,
every time he would go to use one of his dad's inventions, he would just have that look on himself, like, should I though?
Oh yeah.
And then,
the
like,
mom was the same way. She's like telling him to use the egg thing because she's like, I ain't doing it.
Yeah. Can you get the eggs?
Can you do the eggs?
And he's looking at her like,
Yeah, but you notice how she gave the side eye, like, can you do the eggs? And then she's like side eyeing, like.
I even wrote a note. Stop using dad's invention.
Yeah.
Like like they get the juicer or whatever. They're using the juicer.
How much juice was in that orange?
Yeah, that orange.
I think there was juice left from the last one because when it started coming out, like at the end, did you notice how pulpy it was?
Yeah.
Like that had to be old.
Well, not to mention, just buy some orange juice.
I mean, but dad's not doing too great. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way they're making very much money with dad's inventions.
That's true, maybe.
I'm just saying.
I just wanted to point out because I had to point this out. Sorry, Karens have always existed apparently.
Oh.
What? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
What's her face?
Mrs. What's her? Deagle. Mrs. Deagle.
Also, with the whole bank thing, when they're in the bar, Gerald. There's no way Gerald is 23.
Well, did you? No, actually, have you noticed? Like, they've pointed this stuff out. Like, when you look at the Golden Girls, they were like what in their 50s.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Well, actually,
back then, like if you look at people that like their ages, like Cheers, okay, they have used like people that were in Cheers, like what's his name? Ted Danson. When he was in Cheers, he was like in his late 20s. Really? But dude looks like he's in his...
Okay, so yeah, I guess it's just
so like...
Well, that's like... actually, in Golden... As a prime example of Golden Girls, the youngest one on the show was actually the mom.
Yeah.
She was younger than the three friends.
Yeah. I knew that.
So, you know...
So, like, the aging nowadays, people look a lot younger than, like, people were back then. Yeah. Even though, you know, they might be the same age or even older than what they were portraying. Speaking of his dad's inventions, though, but like when he first pulls out the bathroom buddy, am I the only one that like when he pulls that thing out and he pulls out the toothbrush? I'm thinking, how do you use that? Because the toothbrush is like, you know, an inch off of this thing. So like the only way it's gonna work is if you can pull the toothbrush out and then like put it in your mouth. But it didn't look like it could do that because it was attached to like the toothpaste.
Yeah, it was like
so
a
like what are you gonna do?
Swiss
take the toothbrush and like
that big old chunk of
you're gonna take that bathroom buddy and like it's only gonna go like this far into your mouth. Yeah. Like it's not gonna do very well for you, is what I'm getting at.
And then also he puts a razor on it and he's like, I'm not gonna use that. That's scary.
Yeah, you'll probably be brushing your teeth and then like
shaving at the same time.
Yeah, that's not gonna work out for you.
Brush your teeth and shave at the same time. You could even use the toothpaste as shaving cream.
And you know what would have solved every problem in this movie? If he'd have put the Mogwai in his living quarters and not put him in the shop. He's not for sale, so why was he down there?
I didn't understand that either.
Also, how did you not start looking for him when you... Because, come on. You would have realized he was gone. He was singing when he was in the store.
Oh, yeah. As soon as he walked out with it, yeah.
Well, I think that it's probably because he didn't know where to look, and until he started seeing shit on the news...
Well, no, because
then he knew where to look.
If you look, I mean, he didn't know what that stuff was going on until after he's watching the news at their house.
That's what I'm saying. The old man didn't know where to go to look for the Mogwai until he saw on the news where.
Well, that's what Matt's saying though, is that he didn't even know anything was going on until he saw the news at their house.
No, I'm saying he didn't. He might have noticed that he was gone, but he wouldn't have known to go where to look for him.
Well, I figured the boy told him.
Well, the boy wouldn't have known where Dad lives.
I'm going to need your address with this sale.
He gave him cash.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the boy probably didn't ask for an address. There was probably no. He wouldn't have known where to look until the hit the news.
Okay, but did anybody else think Gizmo's adorable?
Everybody thinks Gizmo's
adorable.
Gizmo, I just like all the faces that he made.
I wish he was here right now.
Yeah.
He'd be up in your lap. Licking you in the face.
I wouldn't.
We're talking about my dog, right?
No.
My dog?
No.
No,
He is adorable, though.
Your
Yes.
Gizmo is the kind of Gizmo I would like to throw out a window.
Jesus.
He doesn't like my Gizmo.
No.
Gizmo bit me
Oh.
because I was trying to take him outside.
Oh. Okay then. Did you guys notice that one of the sheriffs? Did you notice that that's Hitman Mike from Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never watched
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you notice that they were drinking on duty?
Yeah, of course. As one does on Christmas Eve when you're the
And is in a small town.
yeah. That nothing ever happens.
Also,
then,
the
apparently.
only 2 cops in town.
Yeah. So Kingston Falls, like that whole downtown had to have been just a set. It was.
It
a
was.
set.
It was.
Yeah, because you could tell like that is totally a set.
Yep.
Like,
I have trivia on it too.
there's like a whole backdrop and
Did you
everything.
notice when Gizmo is like the kid pours water on him accidentally, and the first one pops out, and they're all into this stuff. Gizmo is clearly in pain. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I thought the same.
Like
thing.
he's
I think I
sitting
wrote
there
it
with
down.
them still popping out of his back, and they're like, "Oh,
Well,
what the hell?"
here's my thing. Okay, like I think I wrote it down too. Like, so Gizmo was in pain the first time it happened, right? And that was an accident. Then he takes him to the dude at
And
the
does it
school
on purpose.
and does it again on purpose to Gizmo. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you do it to like one of the asshole ones? You know they're assholes, so take one of the asshole ones and do it to them.
Or not do it at all. Yeah.
I would take one of the
poor Gizmo.
That's what I'm saying. Don't do it to Gizmo. I'd take one of the asshole ones and do it to them.
So the cocoons, though, they look like fucking straight out of Aliens.
Oh, yeah.
I would destroy those cocoons. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The first minute that I saw one, I'd be like, "Up, get the fire can burning."
Yeah.
'Cause
that things
wouldn't know.
look gross. Like nothing good's coming out of them.
Oh yeah.
Also, you could tell that the ones before it were like crap. You're gonna be like, "Oh, look, those are mean."
So
So this is gonna be worse.
Kate, dude, she's dark as fuck.
No doubt.
She's dark, and then she tells that story, and I'm like,
That is the saddest.
well, the story itself is like, this doesn't even fit the movie. Like
Dude,
the whole,
that is the saddest story in Christmas movie history.
I guess.
Yeah, I got it written down. So
It's.
it
I
is.
didn't know whether to think it was funny or
No, it is really dark.
very
I
dark.
had something written down for that, but I don't know where it is.
Like it's so out of place in the movie. You know what I mean?
It is the saddest story, though. I feel.
Oh yeah, I said in the middle of all this craziness, she decides to tell this awful story, and also who waits until Christmas Eve to decorate their fucking tree? Like
Smart people.
yeah, they're decorating their tree on Christmas Eve. Like who waits?
Yeah. Who waits that long?
Like
you're just gonna have to take it down 2 days
right.
later.
Also, did anybody think that the teacher wasn't smart? Like the thing changes into this cocoon. He takes the cocoon, and then he don't know what this thing looks
sticks
like,
his
and
hand
he
under
sticks his hand under
fucking
the desk.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't
You
know what
idiot,
this thing
what are you
is.
doing?
I'm gonna stick my
Yeah,
hand
you don't
under
know what
here
kind
with
of
it.
fucking monster came out of there.
I just have to say, like, out of everybody in this movie, and I'm so glad that he survived and made it into the second one, Mr. Futterman. My
Futterman is
favorite.
awesome.
I know, because
My
whenever he
favorite.
died, like,
I
'cause
love him.
I think he was
Mr.
supposed to have
Futterman's cool.
died.
He was supposed to die, but they
I'm
didn't.
happy when I remember because I didn't I watched the second one not too long ago because I had already watched the first one a while ago, and I was like, and I forgot that Mr. Futterman was in the second one. I remember seeing.
Well, they even made the comment at the end that he didn't die. Like on the TV, they said something about Mr. Futterman. Like, so
yeah.
you know he survives.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, like at the end of that. I don't understand why he had to bring the dog to work though.
Yeah, that
Like,
was
he knows
weird.
he's
Like,
gonna get in
he
trouble.
knows
Yeah, I
how
didn't
to
get that
That's
either.
stupid.
Leave
Like,
your dog at home, dude.
Right?
Like your
Like-
mom can't. Your mom's home, dude. Let your mom take care of your dog.
Right?
I don't think Billy is not that smart, to tell you the truth.
Well, that's what I'm
because,
saying. Like, you notice,
you
like,
don't
right
have
away,
to
Dad's
take-
not very responsible. So neither's the kid. And then he buys this kid this pet that is
takes a
obvious.
lot
Yeah,
of
like
care.
A lot of
Yeah,
like
like, you-
responsibility.
you're a dumbass.
You
Like,
think
why
mom
you
would
do that?
step in and like, I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't think you two should be. No, no.
You know what I'm wondering about Gremlins is even like these ones act way different than Gizmo. So I'm wondering, is there like nice Mogwais, and then when they get wet, they like release the mean Mogwais?
No, I think it's more like the way like there's not really like a good explanation from what I could find, but like they're a mean species
Oh,
as
they
a
are.
general
So
rule. They're
Gizmo-
not good. They're
So-
not good. So he's like a one-off.
He's an
Oh,
exception.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, that makes sense then. Yeah.
yeah. So like I kind of find it funny that Judge Reinhold is a douche in this movie though. Like he usually plays like a nice guy.
Who?
Gerald.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah, 'cause I saw
in
him,
like
I was like-
Beverly Hills.
Yeah,
Cop,
he
and,
usually
like,
is.
He's always
he usually is like a really nice
guy.
person.
So
the,
it kind
the
of
Santa
like,
Claus.
Yeah, like it's kind of.
He was the stepdad. He was like,
Yeah.
I think he was like the best part of the Santa Claus.
Yeah, it's
too.
just so funny because like he comes out and he's like this douche, and you're like, wait,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
I think the closest thing to him being a douche, other than this, was probably Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh yeah,
With also Phoebe Cates.
That's probably the closest.
With one of the most iconic pool scenes
Oh
ever.
yeah.
Because let's face it, dude, it's Phoebe Cates.
For sure.
That woman is.
At that time, she was one of the sex
Yeah,
symbols.
she was.
Yeah.
I could see why.
Well, she
she's
married oh shit, what's his name? I'll think of it. I couldn't believe it when I found out she married him, and then she just like left Hollywood and just raised the kids.
Yeah. She didn't stay in Hollywood very
Wrong
long.
with that.
No, she owns like a boutique in New York, runs that, raises her kids, and that's all she does. She doesn't care.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing.
So I will say, what the fuck was up with like some of the? Okay, I understand this is an older movie, but there's a lot of things about this movie, like the sets, that I didn't like. Like a lot of the snow looks fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote that
obviously
down too.
it's on
Like
sets.
Kevin Kline. Yeah, that's right.
But also the biggest thing.
He was in. I think I know who Kevin Kline is.
Yeah, it was just strange to me. He didn't look like somebody that she would have married. But
also like the if you look at like the cars, you can tell they came through with like that white spray.
oh yeah.
Shit, and just sprayed the shit down.
Where it
with-
bothered me was when he was asking her out on the date, and he's standing there out in the snow, and it's not melting.
It's just landing.
It's just landing on his head, and
Back
I don't know
whenever-
why that
back whenever they were
bothered
still
me.
using asbestos for
yeah,
snow.
yeah. Well, I don't think it was quite that old, but like, okay, and the sword thing really bothered me. If you lived in that house and every time you shut the door, the fucking sword fell off the wall,
Strap it to the wall.
wouldn't
better.
you do something about that?
Yeah.
That would bug the shit out of me.
But it's a good thing he didn't, because he needed it to chop that one
Well,
Gremlin's head
yeah.
off.
No, dude, because
Oh, and mom was a badass.
Yeah, Mom went ham, dude.
If they would have left her alone just
Yeah.
a little bit longer,
She probably
would
would've
have
just saved
taken
the whole
care-
town.
If it wasn't for that one in the fucking tree, she would have nailed it. It would have
Yeah,
been
I
over.
was
The movie
gonna
would have
say
been
that
over.
because
Mom
he-
would have handled it, and it would have been over.
Yeah, she definitely turned into Rambo. Yeah, that's the person I thought it was.
Yeah.
I was gonna say from Wild West.
And you know-
West.
Another thing you were talking about, like when he kept dropping the water or whatever on Gizmo or whatever. Like there was this scene where he flashes that bright light in his face with the mirror. You know what I'm talking about? And then he falls into the trash can, and then he laughs at him like it's Gizmo's fault.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like,
Gizmo.
you're a dick, dude.
Like,
That's
shut
your
the-
fault.
Yeah, you did it, you ass.
Like, don't laugh at
They
him.
really don't care that much about Gizmo or his
No.
like personal well-being.
And then this is another thing, like, so they're nocturnal animals, right? Because they're, you know, they can't really be out in the light,
Yeah.
right? But they're not allowed to eat at
Right,
night.
I don't under- see, this is
My
one
whole thing
thing.
about that was what about the
Different time zones and shit.
Well, I think when you're in your time zone is when that.
Yeah, but like,
matters.
wouldn't it suggest like it wouldn't have to suggest on where the moon would be in the sky? That's the only thing that would really affect it, I guess.
Well, I think
or-
the only, and again, like the only thing I could find on that is that like the general consensus is that eating after midnight ends when the sun comes up.
I don't understand it though.
I don't know. Nobody does. That's kind of the point.
Where
They
does it
didn't-
begin and end? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The general consensus is that it's midnight till the sun comes up.
And why does it have to be exactly midnight? Like, what about before
How does
people
their
had
tummy know?
times? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't make the rules, man. I'm just.
I just think it's the
he's-
dumbest role of them all.
He's still married to her.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they got married and she dipped.
Yeah, 2 kids.
Yeah.
One was like Owen.
Yeah.
Fine, because I was looking at his little thing because I wanted to see it wasn't. And I decided to see if they were still married.
I had to find this funny too. The dad, did you notice that he's using like a bedroom in the house as his workshop?
Yeah.
While the son is in this
In the attic.
This attic that looks like it's not, very well insulated. You know he's got to be cold
gotta
up
be
there,
cold
man.
up
We've
there.
already
Freezing.
kind of accomplished.
I'm just saying, like I'm just going out there like
I
that's.
I thought the dad was in the basement. But I
No,
didn't really
you
look
can tell
well.
it's a bedroom in an upstairs part of it because, like, if you look through the hallway, you can see like the bathroom where he takes Gizmo, and there's like wallpaper, and you know what I mean. It's a bedroom.
I wasn't paying much attention to it.
There's an awful lot of presents under that tree that are toys for a house that doesn't have any kids.
Maybe she's got them for the neighborhood or whatever.
Maybe they still treat what's his face like a child.
Maybe.
They just buy him toys. That's why he still lives at home.
I'd be pissed though. It's like his age, and I'm like, thanks. It's a
thanks.
robot that turns around and around and around.
I gotta point out something. Did you notice when he went to the candy store or whatever it was to kill the last gremlin, that he picks up a toy to break the window out of a window that's broken, and then breaks the one next to it.
I didn't notice that, actually.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it had the neon light in it, too. Like, why would... That's dangerous.
I just love that he used one of them push poppers to break it.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
popcorn,
the
popcorn
I was just thinking, like, my son had one of those whenever he was a baby.
Yeah.
And that motherfucker drove me nuts. Like...
I had one of those when I was...
I think we all did. I think
yeah.
everybody had one, but, like, it's just, they drive me nuts. And I'm like, them things are resilient, though. So I believe he could break that window with that fucking
Yes,
thing.
but my whole point was why? There's one right there. Just
Yeah.
break the rest of it.
Well, he figured everything else is broken. Fuck.
So, like...
I don't know. I want to know what the death toll was.
Yeah, because there had to be.
There was a death count, I think, and I don't remember if I wrote it down or not. I'll have to find out.
Well, how big is the town?
It was another one of those, like, where I was like, at the end of this trivia, I was like, I don't want to write anymore. What was the purpose of that fly swatter thing that the dad had? You know, it was like attached to a drill.
Yeah, it was like a drill. That's not an invention. You just attach 4 fly swatters to a goddamn drill, dude.
And what does it do?
Yeah, what is the point? Like, you're not killing anything with that.
No. I thought the same thing. He pulled that thing out and went like that, and I'm like, what does that do?
How's all that gonna? You know what I would do with that? Smack the fuck out of people with it.
I mean, I guess.
I thought it was funny when he was at the thing, at the talking to his wife on the phone, and the robot's there talking to him, and he's not even asking the robot questions. It's just answering them, though.
No, the robot was on the phone.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was on the phone. It was on a business call. I guess the robot was there with his own inventions. I thought he was an invention whenever I first saw him, but the second time you see him, he's on the phone trying to sell shit. He's trying to market his product. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, did you notice when the dad was on the phone, there was a like time machine behind him, and then when it cuts away, and then it comes back to him, he's still on the phone, but the time machine's gone. You guys know, yeah. I read that somewhere. But I never noticed it in the movie, so this time I paid attention. I was like,
"It's funny as I was watching it, and
funny.
it's when the doctor's when the kid's talking and walking through town. He walks past the drugstore, but he says, "Hello, Dr. Moreau." I wondered if that was a reference.
it is.
It is.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think I wrote it down, but it is. Yeah,
Yeah, I wondered if it was a reference.
yeah, it is. I like the part where he realizes that, like, you know, he's like, oh no, I checked. I gave him some chicken, but it wasn't midnight or whatever. And he's like, I checked, and then I checked, right? And he gets up and he picks up the wire, and he looks at his mom and he goes, what's going on? Like, you clearly know what's going on.
That was the dumbest line. He's like, Mom?
He's like, Mom?
What's going on?
Like,
I was like, dude, obviously the gremlins chewed up your
either you
the
got a rat
chewed up your
problem
shit.
or, like, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, your mom.
Obviously they chewed up your fucking wire. Don't ask me why they didn't just unplug it. But
I mean, my reaction would be, oh shit.
Yeah.
Not, Mom, what's going on?
Well,
Yeah.
my thing was when they started.
This is why they buy you toys for Christmas. Dumbass.
He's a little special.
He's special.
I'd start killing them when I would start killing them when they started treating Gizmo like crap.
Really?
The first minute they spit on the one Gizmo, I'd be like, "Oh, well, you're dead." I like Gizmo.
You would think that before.
I don't think you would. You're too much of an animal lover.
Okay,
You
but
give them every
the
chance.
cocoon.
Okay, so I have.
Well, yeah. As soon as I saw those cocoons, I'd be like,
I do have some questions. Like, how long have Mogwai been around? And has he been the only one this whole time? He can't have been the only one because they know where the effect is.
No, I would imagine not. But if they were a bad species, let's say, I guess, and then, like, you know, there were people like the shop owner, they probably had it under control at some point.
Yeah, but where the fuck did they come from? And when the fuck this had to have happened before?
Sure.
But you never heard of it?
You know what?
Those Japanese people, man.
You know what I always thought? You know what
They're tricky.
thought when I looked at Gizmo a couple times, and it might be the generation I broke, as I actually looked at Gizmo and went, is he the first Pokemon?
He's like a Mew.
Wow.
Yes, I know who Pokemon are, and I can name all 151 of them.
Did you
yes,
guys,
151.
There's only 150, yes.
No, 151.
That's it. All those other ones are not.
I can name all of them. So suck it.
I can't name all of them. But
the Gremlins cuss.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that until this time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I never noticed it. Like when the first time he turned on the projector and I heard him say caca, I was like, did he just say caca? I had to rewind it. I was like,
you've never heard him say caca?
No,
before?
I never noticed it before.
Caca.
Yeah, and then like later on, they're like, Gizmo caca, and I'm like, you assholes! I never noticed it before. So excuse me.
Karen's letting her childish thoughts get in the way.
What? It made me
funny
laugh.
watching these shows. You think about when you watched these shows as a kid. Now you watch them and you notice so much more stuff. Like we did that with like the Pee Wee Herman movies, and then the last movie we watched. I think
that's sort of the point. Like you're watching this now, and you're like intently watching it because you're taking notes and stuff. So like I know, like maybe I would have noticed that if I was just casually watching it. I don't know.
I gotta say though, after watching it this time and really taking notes on it, and because I hadn't seen the movie in a while, I'm gonna have to say that I think I like the second one more than the first one.
I think I agree with that because this one's dark in a way that makes it a little too serious.
Yeah, for the material that's there, I think that it's too dark, too serious, and it's not as funny as it could have been.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if they were necessarily going for all funny, but like
that's what I'm saying. Like it should have been.
Well,
like it didn't know which lane to be in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it horror or is it comedy?
Sure.
I
agree with that.
Because you can call it a horror comedy, but I don't even know if you could consider it that.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I think it goes too dark in some places.
Yeah, exactly.
For you to completely, because it's like as soon as you get comfortable and go, like, oh, okay, ha ha ha, and then it goes in this direction, like, oh, now I feel bad for laughing just 5 minutes ago. You know what I mean? Like, not to say that I don't like the movie. Obviously, I love the movie, but movie. I agree. The second one was a riot.
It's a blast.
Yeah,
to watch.
I like the second one probably more than I do the first one, which is sad. I didn't want to say it, but also I like the fact that when in the second one, there are more varieties of Gremlin because of the DNA stuff that they did.
And they were able to do that with the technology and everything. They were able to do, because like in this one, they had a lot of problems with the puppets. They had a lot of, like, you noticed in the one scene where you see like all of them in the street. That's the only time they used stop motion because they literally could not get all the puppets to work together at that point. Right. Like they were not working.
Did anybody else notice when the Gremlins were in the bar, she was just serving them?
Yeah, I wrote that down.
Like, why did she just run?
And I didn't understand this. So they can drink liquor and all that and beer, but they can't get wet?
Well, that's because it's internal. I did read that.
But it's still got to touch their lips. Is it only if they get wet on their back? But then he sticks his finger in the...
Maybe it's only when it gets wet on their back,
Well, then he sticks his finger in the fountain.
He sticks his finger in the fountain. Because at that spot, I thought it was weird that he had water on his face.
Maybe their entire head is safe space.
I'm thinking that...
Fuck, I don't know. I didn't make the rules, man.
It makes sense if it's internal because he could be cut on his finger when he dipped it in.
Good point.
I don't know.
Good point, Matt.
Internal. Well, if it's internal, then they can't drink liquor or beer.
Yeah, they can.
Maybe he had a paper cut.
Water.
Yeah, maybe it has to be pure water.
Everything has water in it.
But maybe it has to be pure water.
Yeah, like not have other chemicals in it like booze.
Maybe it can't have additives.
Like,
can we just talk about the flashing gremlin? Because he's my favorite. I love that guy.
The one with the red eyes?
No, the one that...
Oh, yeah.
In the bar. Yeah, the one in the
bar. He was a funny one.
Yeah, I love that one. He's my favorite. So, and going back to like in the, with the scientist guy, when he goes in there, when Billy goes in there, he reaches for the phone, right? And then the gremlin comes up and scratches him. And then like, so he goes for the phone, gets scratched. The gremlin runs away. He sees him go through, and he's like out of the room, and he's clearly out of the room. Then he's not interested in the phone anymore.
I didn't notice that. No.
Yeah, he runs into the other room to fix his scratch. No, I'm gonna go for the phone while you're gone. Clearly, you're out of the room. Yeah. I might go and lock the door, maybe. But I'm gonna go for the phone that I know is now in my reach and I can use it.
Yeah.
Just saying. Billy's an idiot.
But yeah, you can also think because like I said, I would have destroyed the cocoons. If he would have destroyed the cocoons, that would have been a whole different movie.
Well, I mean,
So
there's so many times that they could have ended this.
That's what I've started to realize that since I've gotten older with movies. It's like there's so many different ways they could have ended it, but just going to make a short movie.
So did anybody realize who the man at the bank was? The man behind, standing behind beside Mrs. Deagle in the bank at the beginning. That's Chuck Jones. He's a famous cartoonist. He did.
I didn't know that.
He created cartoons like Wile E. Coyote, The Roadrunner. I believe he even created Tom and Jerry. But he's a famous cartoonist, and that's what in the movie his name is actually Mr. Jones.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. So, and I think even does he have a pencil in his ear or is it a pipe on him? I can't remember.
He had a pipe in his mouth.
Pipe, yeah. But yeah, that's Chuck Jones, man. He's a famous cartoonist. He worked a lot with Warner Brothers and stuff.
Well, he's the one that ends up getting his finger or his hand in the
mailbox. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think I wrote a note on there, but
that guy?
yeah. Mm-hmm. So like the priest puts his hand in the mailbox, and after knowing that there's something in the mailbox, lets another guy come up and put his hand in like he's like, oh yeah, go right ahead, and then he watches intently like, what kind of priest is that? Like
a Catholic one.
Like that was terrible to me. I'm like, you're gonna let him put his hand in, you jerk. And you go back to like what you said. Okay, you do bring up a good point, and I just kind of thought of this. The place is covered in snow, which is what. Frozen water. There should have been a lot more gremlins than what there were. Because as soon as they got into a warm place,
so you're telling me that a beer can't make more gremlins, but they can put one little drop of water on a fucking fur ball, and he pops out another fur ball.
Oh yeah, actually, you know what? I thought that wouldn't work because the pool had to have had chlorine in it.
Yeah, it's got chemicals in it.
I'm just saying, like the snow. I mean, that as soon as they get in someplace and they get warm and it melts. It should have.
There's flaws to this.
There's a lot of flaws now that I'm thinking about it.
And I think it's one of the things that drives me the most nuts about this movie. I'm like, so you're telling me they can drink liquor and beer and all this other to run around in the snow and they don't produce more? Like, it drives me nuts.
Because like even Stripe, you Stripe go like full on wallowing in the snow,
right?
Like watching them doing stuff, and like I don't know.
Well, I wonder is when they go they hang the dog outside.
Yeah.
How did they get it in the air?
I don't know. I didn't understand.
Yeah. Because they're only they're not even
little
a foot
guys.
tall.
Yeah. I guess if they work together, maybe, but.
So like. That's another thing. I did write this down, but like I kind of like when he jumps in the pool and he's like holding his nose. That was funny to me. But since he's in like I don't know what you would call it, like the reptilian stage. Is that why they all came out in that stage?
Yeah, that's what I figured it was.
Yeah. Because they didn't start out as the fuzzy,
right,
I figured the Mogwai
can produce more Mogwai,
and then the Gremlins produce more Gremlins. That's what I figured.
Yeah.
So I kind of assumed, like, I guess it's like, if they come out as a Mogwai, then they have to go through the stages. But if if it come out, like, start as a gremlin, they can just come out as a gremlin?
Yeah, that's what I figured it was. They didn't tell you that in the trivia?
No. And I looked all this stuff up before. I mean, I tried to...
Yeah, because I figured it was just that the Mogwai produced Mogwai and the Gremlin... Well, because then that... Well, no. Okay, because they have to eat at midnight. I was thinking, well, that doesn't matter because...
Because I guess I assumed it was like a life cycle thing, right? Like, you start out here, then you go here, but you have to hit here to do this. But I guess it would make sense if you were already a gremlin to produce a gremlin because... then you don't have to break the rules to get to the next stage, I guess.
Yeah, because when I seen all the gremlins, I started thinking about that. I was like, well, and then I figured, well, it must just be because he's a gremlin is why he produced more gremlins. Yeah. So I figured the Mogwai, it's just the cycle that they're in when they create it, that's how it comes.
Yeah. I guess that's what it must be then. And I shouldn't say this as a good Christian woman, but Mrs. Deagle deserved it.
Oh, for sure. She was a bitch, dude.
For sure. And she
was
did not
as-
give two
she
shits
was as
about
bad-
anybody.
Yeah.
She wanted.
Dude, she was as bad, if not worse, than the fucking Gremlins.
Yeah,
dude.
and she wanted to like kick people out of their homes
Yeah.
at Christmas and like.
Talking about murdering his dog and
Yeah.
shit. Like, dude, chill out.
She deserved every bit of it.
Yeah,
Or even worse.
Even after he said, "I'll pay for it," she's like, "I want your dog." Like, what, you
And
fucking
she-
psycho?
Like, I wonder if that was like a Oz thing because she really sounded like she was the one woman because she was like, "I want your dog."
I want your dog, my pretty.
But no, Karen, that's where it's hard being a Christian.
It's hard to be a Christian
I know.
when you wish to
We're
We're
push
supposed
hard.
to forgive and love everyone, and I'm
Fuck
like,
that.
you
Kill
fucking
that
bitch.
bitch.
I want her to die.
End that whore.
I've started doing it where I'll like if I like certain actors, I'll be like, I like the actor, don't like that role.
Yeah. And those sheriffs were worthless. They had guns, and they didn't even try.
No, they didn't even. They were like, "Hey, roll your window up."
Yeah, like, I want to leave. I want to leave. I want to
You
leave.
wanna
I'd
leave
like
now?
to leave right now. I'd like, you worthless motherfucker.
Yeah.
They're
You-
drunk.
I don't care.
That should make it more
That
fun.
shit- well,
Yeah, like, if
They're
I'm
not
drunk and I
human.
have a gun, hey, like, we got lots of ammo. man.
Lots of
Come on.
target
No,
practice
my thing
out
is
there
they're
right now.
drunk. My thing is they're bad cops because they're drunk on duty. I don't care if it's New Year's or you're in a small town or not. If you're in a small town, bad stuff's going to happen.
I mean, I guess.
Drunk or not, I don't care. I think as a cop, even if you are drunk, those little fuckers, that's good target practice.
Yeah, that's
I
what I'm
mean,
saying.
you know, like go
You
get
got
out
a shot.
there.
I know they've got
Yeah.
a shotgun back
Yeah,
there.
get out
Yeah.
there and go ham, dude.
All
Start
cop
killing a
cars
little
have
bit.
extra
Yeah.
shotgun of a trunk.
That's what I'm saying. I know they've got. I know they've got extra. I know they got a shotgun. I know they can go back to the fucking
The station.
and
Oh
get
man, if
loaded
they're-
up.
I don't know about you, but if I was the sheriff and I was shit faced and I get out and see all these little fuckers tearing up the town, oh shit, it's about to get great. Let's
Hey,
go get some more ammo.
I'm
Let's
pretty
get some more
sure-
booze.
I'm
We're about
pretty
to have
sure
fun.
we took that bazooka off that one guy, didn't
Yeah.
we? Like-
Let's go see how much fun we can have tonight.
Oh,
Merry
yeah.
Christmas.
If you remember, they couldn't get back to. They would have had to walk to the station.
Well, they didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
They could have at least made the fucking effort.
yeah,
I'm just saying they would have had.
I would have had fun.
Oh yeah.
I would have had fun.
They were bad cops.
Yeah, terrible. So he knows that his car is a piece of shit. Why didn't he leave it running when he went to get Kate? He doesn't. He doesn't leave it running, and then they go back out there, and guess what? The motherfucker doesn't start.
We've already concluded that he's not a very smart person.
I'm just saying, he's a
And
fucking
let's just,
idiot.
and I also want to put this out on the table. Corey Feldman has always been weird. He's a weird.
Why? Because he dresses up like a tree.
No, not because of that. He's just a weird fucking kid. He's a weird person now. He's really weird now. Have you seen any of his like rock performances or whatever?
Yeah. And,
Holy shit.
Well,
He's fucking weird, man.
I mean, you could make the argument that that could be all the kitty diddling that happened.
You could. You could.
You know, him and Haim lived together for a long time. Him and
They were on drugs together for a long time.
yeah, they were on. They actually had a show called Corey Feld. The two Corys.
The two Corys, yeah.
and it was Corey Feldman got, but like he was taking care of Haim basically.
Yeah, well, he was.
There was a time when he was fairly normal, and I don't really know when he went off the
He
rails.
did. He just went off the rails,
Okay,
man.
Did you guys ever?
I think it was after Corey Haim died.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like when he
Yeah.
lost like his cornerstone, I guess, you know, his true north.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, he was getting married, but yeah, because his friend that he's been around with since so long. But did you guys ever see the This is going to be a stupid question because you guys probably didn't, but I watched them because I watched the other ones. Did you guys ever see the Lost Boys movies?
Yes.
I saw the second one.
I've seen all of them.
There's one. They have a cut scene where Haim is talking to Feldman.
Yeah.
And he's talking, and then basically his brother Alan Frog is like the king of vampires, and he's coming back.
Yeah.
But
I
in the
heard
movie,
about it.
Yeah.
that was in the second one, and then in the third one, he saves him because that was after Corey Haim had died, so they couldn't bring him back for the third one.
That wasn't in the second one. I saw the second one. That'd be
It was
after
at
the
the
second
end.
one.
It was at the
Yeah,
end
I
of
watched
the
the
second
second.
one.
I watched all the way through it.
It was
It
at
had
the
to be-
it was at the end of the second one. Whenever Corey Haim come back, at the end it was like a cut scene.
Yeah, I saw that, but it was just Corey.
Yeah.
It was just Corey and Corey. I didn't see Alan didn't show up until like the third one.
He showed up in the third one, yeah, but he didn't show up as like this vampire boss. He came back, and apparently Corey Feldman, who had saved him and turned him back into a human. So
I didn't see that
yeah.
part.
that's
I don't remember
That was the third
no.
one. That was in
I
the
watched.
third
I
one.
watched the second one.
Because I know
I
in
don't
the
remember that
second
at all.
one, they're talking. He says Alan's coming, and it shows Alan driving in a car that has like the windows all.
Yeah, in the
blacked out and
second one.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, at the
and
end.
that was a cut scene.
Yes,
yeah.
at the end.
But the third one, maybe I didn't see the. Third
Yeah, and
one.
the third one, this was after Corey Haim had died. In the third one, Alan comes back, and I don't remember the whole plot synopsis of the movie, but Alan is back already, and he's already turned him back into a human.
Oh,
So they don't even show him like combat Alan.
Well, that seems like a really
It is. It was
wasted
kinda- yeah,
plot line.
it was a-
That
it was a
could have been
waste.
amazing.
But I think that the whole point was that they were going to move forward with the third one with Corey Haim
Oh, and then
and him probably trying to rescue Alan while Corey Haim had died. So they kind of had to scrap that. I think it was that's what I got from it anyway. I don't know the exact reasoning, but that's what I could only assume.
Sure.
So
I mean, it's just sad all the way around.
doesn't matter. Both those movies sucked anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were horrible.
terrible.
But
They were
I
fucking
watched them.
terrible.
But I watched them because I liked the second one. I watched because I liked the first Lost Boys.
Well-
and the third one I watched because I watched the second one.
I watched
They keep fucking making them. I thought I was done.
yeah, that's exactly what it was for me. And
No, I
think
was
that-
done after I watched the second one. I was like, "That's."
I watched I watched the second and third one, but only because they had Corey Feldman in them. And back then, I liked Corey Feldman, but then he started getting fucking weird. So, I just kind of like.
I feel bad for him.
I feel bad for him too, but he doesn't He doesn't need to be weird.
Yeah, but I don't blame him for that. I don't think. I mean, like, I feel like he.
Whatever. He's not bothering me, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like he.
He got screwed over.
He got
Yeah.
Hollywood
He
chewed his
there
ass
was
up and
actually
spit him
one
out.
time-
They chewed him up, spit him
Yeah.
out, and then now
There
he's
was
a
a-
laughing stock, and
There was
I
actually
feel bad
one-
for him.
There was
Yeah.
actually one
I
time where
agree.
I seen him in an interview.
I do
He was
agree.
talking about the children pedophile rings in Hollywood.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody
And
will listen
they-
to him because he's weird.
Yeah.
So
But he's weird like that because they fucking did it to him.
exactly, that's my point.
That's what they do. They screw people up. So
Yeah,
they-
that's like I
and
said.
then
They chew
can
him up
take
and
their
spit him
credit.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of kids are like that, man. Look at the fucking the kid who played Anakin Skywalker in Episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
That kid got fucked up. He ended up beating the shit out of his own mom. He was on drugs, got
Yep.
thrown in jail,
I didn't know all
DUIs.
that.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
some-
he-
Yeah.
he-
I knew.
They call
I
it the
think
Anakin curse.
Yeah, I think he's okay now.
I
Yeah.
heard
But
it. I heard.
he had to go through some serious therapy, rehab. I mean,
And it was
he
all because of people didn't like him as Anakin, so he got picked on all the time by other kids, and they were making fun of him and everything, so it just fucked him up.
Well, the
Yeah.
kid who played Joffrey, he won't act again.
Yeah,
Yeah, he went back
Because
to
he played-
theater.
I would
Yeah,
I would
Walter
argue
Theater.
that
Yeah.
Corey got it worse though.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he was 80s. Back in the 80s, they were giving kids heroin and stuff.
Oh
then.
yeah.
Oh yeah, they were doping him up and everything else. Hell, look at fucking Drew Barrymore. She was a
Yeah.
fucking alcoholic at 10 years old.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So I
Yeah,
mean,
she was in rehab by the time she was 12.
Yeah,
First time.
the first time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah. So going back to you talking about him breaking that window, like he broke the window, but there had to be like an easier way to get in there. I don't know, like the door. I mean, if he's gonna break something, he could have.
not the
Broke
largest piece
the-
of glass in the store.
Yeah, like
The most expensive one to replace.
Yeah, I mean, he could have just broke the window in the door and stepped
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
Well,
I
did
mean-
you also realize when he ran into the bank, which was a horrible place to go? Why you would go to the bank?
I'm pretty sure that whole town was going to be like an insurance company's nightmare.
Oh, no doubt.
So-
But I would want more than a big wooden baseball bat too, though. Like
Yeah.
he's walking around with a wooden baseball bat. You tell me they ain't got an aluminum one or like
Well,
I think a
anything.
a wood bat would
he
hurt
gets
more.
to the bank, and there's one point where he tries to open the door.
They're heavier.
I would want something more than wood between me and
Nah.
that thing.
But okay, but the part where he runs, there's a part where he just gets to the door of the bank and he's trying to open it.
Oh yeah,
You can clearly tell the door's open.
I didn't notice that.
Like it looks like what happened is he tried to pull on it and it opened, and he still had to make it look like he was still trying to open it.
Okay, so it's like a goof.
Yeah, and they
Okay.
just kind of left it in because hoping nobody noticed.
Yeah, fuck it. We're not doing a reshoot.
Matt
on that
noticed.
One. We're not reshooting that one.
Well, it's funny because I used to do stuff like that in movies. Like I watched Strange Lands once, and there's this part where they're looking for the dog that's barking and stuff. And I was watching it one time, and me and Ashley were watching it. I went, paper moved. Paper moved again.
What is it?
Paper's back. Paper moved again. And it's where they keep going back to this dog trying to find out where the house is that
Oh yeah,
Captain Howdy
yeah.
lives
Whenever
in.
he's sitting in the car.
And they keep going back to this dog, and the paper keeps moving.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know that scene because he's listening to the barks from the dog to figure out pinpoint which house he's at.
Yeah.
Because that's the actual tactic that cops do.
Oh yeah. So like when Stripe shoots that bow and arrow thing at him, and he's got the boom box.
Yeah.
He hits the boom box, right? But then he throws the boom box. Like, oh, my work here is done.
And then he shoots at him again.
Yeah. Like, no. Keep it up until you know he's out.
Well, it's sparked and it's sparked and stuff. That means it's done, right? I can't use it again. I told you he wasn't very smart.
No.
All of its shielding power is done.
Apparently.
I also like it that the gremlin looks at it and goes, "Oh," it goes, "Gun."
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, you were watching the Seven Dwarfs. You didn't learn what a gun was from that.
Maybe they have some, I don't know. I can't even come up with anything good.
I've already kind of the Gremlins are actually pretty smart.
Well, weren't they watching a Western or something before they turned into Gremlins?
Oh yeah. In Billy's room.
In Billy's room, they were watching a Western or something.
Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, I guess they might.
Yeah. Well, and they were watching the Invasion of the Body Snatchers too.
Was that the Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't tell which one it was.
And then was Gizmo Flintstoning that car? Or because it was a Barbie car, so like it doesn't have like an engine or.
I don't know. He wasn't. I think that they made us try to think that it was an electric car.
But then
it was the world's first Tesla.
But then he would have to be using the remote to.
That's not the point.
Okay,
it's a movie, Karen.
Yeah,
I'm just asking.
Haven't you ever seen Tom and Jerry?
Friend. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I have.
Jerry's used fucking all kinds of remote control cars. Mm-hmm. Remember
Wile E.
Stuart Little?
Coyote's died numerous times.
That's a cartoon.
I think maybe at this point he should stop using Acme stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
no shit.
Also, he's always got money to buy this Acme stuff. Why don't he just buy a burger?
Yeah, just go to your local McDonald's, man. Pick up a snack,
buy a Big Mac and be done with it.
Yeah, I mean, you want some chicken? They got chicken nuggets.
It's true.
So
it's true.
I was asking my mom that once we were watching it when I was an adult, and I go, you know what I never realized as a kid? She goes, what? I was go, because we were watching it because Aura's there. I go, he just keeps buying stuff from Acme. Why can't he just buy some food? And my mom goes, man, it's a cartoon. And I was like, yeah, I know, but she goes, that's not something you think of as a kid. Oh, yeah. You never think, hey, he's buying that big slingshot. Why don't you just buy a
You got money for giant slingshots. You ain't got money for a Big Mac.
You got money for all that fucking TNT and stuff, dude. Come on.
You think after the fourth or fifth time,
you stop buying the same shit. Yeah,
stop buying.
Stop buying that shit and start thinking maybe I should switch to a different brand.
It is not working.
Yeah, maybe I should work on some Smith and Wesson stuff, like buy an actual gun and shoot him.
Yeah.
He can't run faster than a bullet.
Also, I always thought it was weird because he'll do that thing where he puts a draws on a mountain.
Yeah.
But the Roadrunner right through it.
Yeah, how's that fair?
Yeah.
He must be a wizard.
Yeah. What is he's a wizard?
I will say my favorite. Obviously, we've talked about practical effects and how great they are. But I think in this movie, my favorite practical effect was the melting Stripe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that awesome.
The skeleton.
They did
and stuff was really cool.
They did an amazing job with that. I really liked it.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Yeah.
That and I think that the animation of the Gremlins running towards the theater
stop
screen.
Motion.
No, the theater screen.
Oh yeah.
An actual animation.
Yeah.
I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, that was good.
So
that's a cool one.
That gave it some real made the Gremlins look more fluent, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and so did that stop motion part, honestly.
I thought the stop motion stood out like
Yeah.
You could tell.
But I know that they didn't have a choice.
Right. You could tell that was like a small set.
It stuck
like,
out
really
so
set,
badly because the rest of it was practical.
That's why, because I seen that and I was like, well, you can tell that's a set. And I was like, but it makes sense why they did that.
They had to. They didn't have a choice, and I get that. It sticks out to me.
It does. It sticks out to anybody who watches it. But yeah, it's noticeable. But it's one of those things it's noticeable because they didn't have the technology back then. But also why it had to be done.
Sure. Yeah. Was the Chinaman gonna walk all the way back?
That was my last question. Did he walk there?
I didn't understand that either.
He's just walking and it's
walking off into the fucking moon.
Like, because I know that I only know this because it says it in like one of the things I was reading, but they live in Pennsylvania, and Chinatown's in where?
New York.
Correct. Yeah. So is he gonna walk back?
That's what I was like, maybe he spent that whole time trying to get there.
Maybe he spent that whole time walking.
That might have been. Yeah, maybe that's the problem. Maybe the kid did know, and he had to walk all the way there. Now he's gonna walk all the way back. There we go.
Solved
Plot point solved.
Because he did say that the guy at the gas station tried to sell him an ashtray.
Yeah.
Which was really hilarious to me. I forgot all about that. When he said that, I laughed.
Yeah, man at ashtray tried to sell me. Thank you.
Man at gas station tried to sell me.
Yes, man at gas station tried to sell me.
Says latest and state of the art technology or some shit. I'm like, oh boy.
Thank you.
The funny thing is when the guy also goes and he starts talking to him about the bathroom buddy. Like, look at that store. Do you really think he wants to sell those?
Actually, I do. I actually do. Did you see the rest of the shit he had in that store?
Yeah, it's like old Chinese art and Asian artifacts.
I know, but I could see like a bathroom buddy sitting in there, just like collecting dust amongst everything else. I could see it.
So it's like a community bathroom buddy.
Yeah, well, no, I mean just like one random one, and like some days some dude's just gonna roll in
with
there
with like 6 price tags on it because he just keeps trying to sell it.
He's dropping a price.
Yeah,
I'll give it away.
Yeah, free. This is free now.
Just get it the fuck out of here. Trash.
Well, does anybody else have any other notes that they want to talk about?
It's just a great movie.
No, I don't think so. I think that pretty much covers me.
Okay. Well, I was underprepared. I gotta get reviews going here. So Matt, go ahead and hit your review then.
Well, like I said, I like the movie, and then there's nostalgia to it too, and it's always been a great movie, and like for the time that it was made, it was good, and the Gremlins were creepy, and they had a good story with. If you kind of think about it, they had a good story because the story of Gremlins were created during World War II, and they were a Japanese thing, and it made sense. And I think that it just has a good storyline and stuff. And yeah, so I gave it a 7 because it's because
solid.
Of the nostalgia, and then it's also good story and stuff. Like now, I think if they did a remake, they could make the Gremlins cooler, but I don't think it would be as good.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's a solid assessment. I agree with that.
I don't know. I disagree a little bit. Just a little bit.
I wouldn't want them to remake it, I guess.
Oh no, I wouldn't want them to either because like it would be.
Well,
cool
they're gonna
Gremlins
reboot it
stuff
already.
They've
already
found
that out. Yeah, they're gonna reboot the series. So I'm interested to see what that's gonna look like. Honestly,
Hey,
it's not one of those franchises to me that's untouchable. You know what I mean? It's not like Back to the Future or something like that.
It kind of is.
No, not to
me.
me.
It is kind of is, man. You don't understand. When I was little and I seen this, man, I had a Gizmo stuffed animal and stuff.
Well, they're saying reboot it. It doesn't mean that they're remaking it. It just means that they're bringing it back. They're going to do another one.
And they're always.
I think they're going to call it Gremlins 3, as a matter of fact.
Well, I guess the point that I would make is that when done right, nothing's untouchable.
True.
But given what they've done with other things, I don't want them to touch it. That's what I'm saying.
Right, I gotcha. So here's my thing. The movie's good. It's very, very good. It wasn't until now I think I realized that I think the second one is better. Is it still a great movie? Of course it is. It's always going to be a good movie.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch. It's great to watch with the kids. Just make sure they don't scare too easily, because yes, they can be scary.
That's why.
times.
That's why I want to wait till a certain age with Aura.
But do I think that they could do this now? I think that honestly, the storyline itself could have been better. I think they if they dove more into the lore of Gremlins, like Japanese Gremlins from World War II and stuff, like not too much, but like give it more of that backstory, it would be fun.
I think that's what they could do with a sequel.
They could.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I think something like that would be really, really cool. Because maybe even do it like in World War II, during World War II.
Yeah, like
and
a
make it kind of
prequel type
fun
thing.
and goofy or something like that. Maybe not too overboard, but not
Maybe
like
they could even try for a serious one for the third one, just for the original lore and give you the background.
maybe not too serious. Like give it some goofiness still, though. You know what I mean? Like give it some goofiness, because you go too serious with it, then it's almost a horror movie. Then you know what I mean?
Well,
There's
no,
no in between with this. You can't go not comedy, not horror, and with Gremlins. You know what I mean? Like it's either or.
I get it. It's just like with that World War II tone. I don't know if you can.
You could pull that off. I think you could.
Yeah,
The right
I guess,
the
I
right
guess you've done
the
I
right
guess-
the right story and the right director could pull
No,
that off.
yeah, I guess you're right. Cause
They tried that
you've
with
done,
that Jojo Rabbit.
No,
movie.
they did not.
You didn't like that?
No, they didn't do funny.
Oh,
It was funny in certain
it
areas.
was funny, but like it was not funny.
But it was a very
I
sad.
That was very deceiving.
I didn't see it.
it was.
it's very deceiving.
I thought
It's
it was
very,
supposed to
very
be funny.
sugar coated.
I thought it was going to be funny too, and then I bawled my eyes out like a
Yeah.
little bitch.
You know, I think my friend told me that he wanted to see it because he thought it was supposed to be funny, and then he ended up saying it was a totally different movie.
It's a
than
totally
what-
different.
It has
It's an
funny-
amazing movie.
Yeah, it's an amazing movie.
amazing
And it
movie.
is
I would-
funny. It
I
is
would
funny.
tell-
It does
yeah, it's
have
got
funny
parts.
moments.
Yeah, it's got
But
funny
dude,
parts.
yeah, the end and shit, like it gets very sad.
There's one part.
But there's nothing funny about the fucking German war, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
about
nothing
the Nazi
funny.
war.
Yeah, like it.
World War II was fucked
Well, I
up.
think the funny thing that they led you to believe in the trailer is that this kid has an imaginary friend who happens to be Hitler,
Yeah,
and you think
yeah.
that's funny, and you're like, oh, haha, that's
Played
funny.
by Taika Waititi, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
fucking great.
It's hilarious, and you think that's part. You think that's what you're gonna be watching, and no,
Yeah,
there's
you are
one.
gonna
There's
see.
one scene I literally like,
Yeah,
and I think probably everybody did. Yeah,
with the shoes.
the shoes.
Yeah. Very, very sad.
Yeah.
Very sad. And I loved
The kid died, don't he?
I loved Scarlett
I'm
Johansson.
not gonna tell you a damn thing about
Scarlett
that movie.
Johansson in
watch
that
it.
movie.
You're not
was
gonna watch
great.
it?
Probably not.
Well, I'm not gonna say it on air.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna give anything away. But yeah, Scarlett Johansson in that movie was awesome.
Yes.
Anyway, back to the movie.
I did
So
hear she did a good job.
she was great. And she just gorgeous woman,
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous woman.
Her and Charlize Theron, two most beautiful women in the world.
Charlize
now,
Theron, one of the
anyway.
only girls I have ever thought, one of the few girls that I have ever thought is pretty with a shaved head.
That is true. She pulls it off.
Yeah.
Her and only one other woman has done that, and that's Demi Moore. G.I. Jane, dude.
Yeah, Demi Moore, I never thought was like gorgeous, but I don't
Oh,
think
I
she's
did,
ugly.
dude. Back in the day, she was off.
No, I don't think she's gorgeous, but I don't think she's ugly.
I thought she was gorgeous back
She
then.
could pull
Ghost.
off. She
She pulls off short hair really well,
Yeah,
too,
she
like in
can pull
Ghost.
off.
I'll give you that.
She
Yeah,
does
short
pull
hair.
off good short hair.
Yeah.
But anyway, so with all that being said, I think that the movie's great. I don't think it's as good as the second one, but it's still a classic and it's still a great movie. And I'll go with Matt on this one and give it a 7 also. I'll give it a 7. So.
Man. Well. Okay, so I'm gonna go nostalgia, practical effects.
Yeah, the practical effects were
The
awesome.
practical effects are amazing.
I love anything puppetry.
The soundtrack, the theme, for a really, really long time was always my ringtone around Christmas time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I love it. Yeah, this is terrible, but like when she tells that really, really sad story, it's one of the funniest scenes in the movie to me.
Yeah, because
I
I
can't
take it seriously.
I know, I can't help it. Like, and every time she tells it,
I think it's her delivery of the story.
well, it's the delivery because it's right in the middle of all of this chaos, and like you're just like, timing, woman, read the room,
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
Like,
I'm like, that's what I thought. I was like, that story is so out of place.
yeah. So like, I don't know that every time it happens, I laugh a little bit. And then the mom, when she's like badass, you know, it's like if it wasn't for that one in the tree, she would have ended everything, right? She would have taken care of it. It would have been a really short movie. It would have been done. Mom would have been. Everybody would have come home, and Mom would be like, "I took care of your fucking problem. Get that thing out of my house."
That's all been presents.
It's over. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons, you know, for this movie being amazing. I agree that the second one I do like better, simply because this movie. It goes dark in ways that it almost makes you feel guilty for laughing at parts, and you know, especially that part where she's talking about that story, and you're like, oh God, I'm sorry, you know. Yeah, so like I like the second one better, but this one is amazing in a lot of ways. I'm going with a 7 too. I already had a 7.
7 around the table.
So we're going 7 around the table, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so into the Rotten Tomatoes. So what do you guys think the critics gave it?
83.
83.
83, that's very specific.
Mm-hmm.
I bet it's around there somewhere. I don't know. I'm going to go 75.
Matt got it.
Really?
86.
Damn.
Audience.
He's on a fucking roll.
Oh, he is, man. He's getting kicked our ass like the past 3 weeks.
Yeah. Are you cheating?
No, but see, also the way I see it, those I gotta kind of bring it up. I didn't see these stats, but I did see the ones for Scrooged, and I've already forgot them. So no, I'm not.
Well,
cheating.
he's allowed to look at the ones for
the
Scrooge.
Scrooge one. Yeah.
Be the one reading.
Yeah.
It. Audience.
I don't know.
We'll say 83 as well.
I bet it's lower. I bet it's lower than critics. I'm gonna stay with 75.
What'd you say? 83 again? 78.
Really, it was lower than the critics.
Yeah.
Fucking knew it.
Which is weird, right?
Yeah, that is.
It's
well, I kind of figured that because this is something that like I don't like. I bet it's a critical darling because of who's behind it.
Well, here's why it's a critical darling, because we all watched it for entertainment value, right? We didn't take it as any kind of like, you know, social commentary.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, is that what it is?
Here's the critics' consensus.
Here we go.
Whether you choose to see it as a statement on consumer culture, or simply a special effects heavy popcorn flick, Gremlins is a minor classic.
Yeah, so a lot of the ones that are bad are going to be like, oh.
So let's just read into it.
Wait, they called it a minor classic?
Yeah.
No, it's definitely more than a minor classic. It's one of the classics.
A political commentary of consumerism. Oh my God, get over yourself.
Yeah. So
okay, so I can tell these comments are going to be people who are think that they just like to use big words.
I'm pretty sure they just made this movie because they thought this is going to be fun.
Yeah,
people are going to have fun watching this movie.
These people who are going to give the bad comments are like, I can see, and it's just because they want to use big words.
Big words.
So, okay, I couldn't find any critic reviews that were less than like 4 stars.
Yeah.
So this one is funny to me because this person gave it a low rating because they're stupid. I thought this was a new movie that came out and realized it was the first movie, and I was bummed. They gave it 2 stars because they're stupid.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, they gave it 2 stars because they were. That's like, because you know I used to say, oh, they gave it 2 stars because they're generally.
So you're dumb.
That one's generally dumb.
So the movie's smarter than you. So you think it. So you give it a low rating.
They gave it a low rating because they're stupid.
That's like calling somebody else an idiot because they proved you wrong. You're stupid. No, obviously you are.
Oh, here. Okay. This person's along the same lines of the reason that the critics were like up here heavy with it. This person gave it 2 stars. It's hard to fully consider Gremlins outside the context of its original merch-heavy cultural ubiquity throughout the 80s.
See, somebody just trying to use big words.
Even embraced on its own terms as a black comedy, gleeful self-parody and satire, it's nonetheless an unpleasantly weird, clumsy, and messy mashup.
I hope these people sit here and they're writing this, and I seriously think that they're going through their little thesaurus. Yeah, that means the same thing.
Here you go.
Big words.
Here's the least one I found. It's a half a star. You're gonna love it. It's the best one yet.
Do you think it was a series?
I was 4 episodes. No, I'm
That'd be funnier than shit, dude.
That was the first episode, and we're still making fun of it.
Because it's fucking great, dude. Like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
The
4 episodes? I think you're watching the wrong shit.
Well, because that's what happened. Because you read it, and I said, I think the guy's thinking of the show.
Okay, you guys ready? This is the worst movie ever.
Oh.
That's it?
End quote.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can find it.
It's one of those things where you're like, dude, I need more reasoning.
Yeah, like you
Why?
can't. Like I can't stand that. Like
Why?
if you're gonna give it like a half a star, you need to give a better reason than that.
Yeah.
And well, I guess I'm not gonna find any more. But we had some good ones. Those are pretty good. Like I really love the first one. You're gonna rate it low because you're an idiot.
The second one, I seriously think was just a guy trying to use big words. That's all. Who uses
Ubiquitous.
ubiquitous? Like who uses that in a sentence?
I know.
I mean,
And
apparently
you can tell
they did.
just by the way that Karen was reading it that person was just trying to use big words
Right.
because they overused big words.
Ubiquitous, present, appearing, or found everywhere.
So dumbasses like you, you're ubiquitous. You're everywhere.
Okay, so I guess it's now time for trivia. So I'm gonna go.
I guess since I've stopped yelling at people and telling them they're stupid, it's your guys' job now.
Well, sometimes.
No, that one warranted
Sometimes
it.
whenever somebody's ignorant, they're just ignorant, man.
Yeah, like if you're gonna rate something and you're rating it low because
you
you're
messed up.
stupid, like because you're an idiot. Like
Right.
if I was gonna get on there and rate something, and like I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm not gonna rate that because I'm fucking an idiot. I'm just not gonna rate
Right.
it at all because I'm stupid. Like that's on me.
Exactly.
Like I'm not gonna tell the world I'm an idiot. No. I mean, they already know, but no.
I would I would probably still rate it, but it would be telling people I thought this was the wrong movie, but like
That's
this
on
is
me,
why
so
I rated
4
it.
stars.
Yeah,
You know?
Exactly.
they did a real good job of making me think this was a new movie. So 5 stars.
Okay, so you were talking about the set.
Mm-hmm.
It was reused in a movie the next year. Would you like to guess what the movie was
Give me a
next
second.
year?
Give me a second. The following year.
Following year.
This came out in '84, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a hint.
It's got a great car.
Christine.
No.
A
There's
great
a lot of
car.
good old movies with great cars in them.
Trying to think, what kind of car was it?
I can't tell you that. Give it away.
Was
Smokey and the Bandit?
No.
it a great car?
You know what movie I think had some great cars? Mad Max.
It wasn't Mad Max, was
No,
it?
it wasn't Mad Max.
I didn't even think that was like.
Since we're not going to play the game, I'll just play this one. real
Yeah,
quick.
fuck it. Let's guess this one. It was a movie the next year, so it was made in '85.
Yep.
And it had a great car in it. Was it a muscle car?
No.
Was the car the main set thing of the movie?
Yes, it was almost a character.
Was it Kit?
No.
No, because that's a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a muscle car?
No.
So was it a van?
No.
Was it the DeLorean?
Yes.
Oh,
Really?
Back to the Future?
Yep.
Really? What, the Western? Third?
No,
Three? No.
the first one.
Been the first one, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know the
Downtown?
Mm-hmm.
Really? That was a set?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know
That is a good their set definitely
Kingston
improved.
Falls is the same as the downtown
You know
that
what's
they used in the 50s and in
you know what's funny about
That's
the
crazy.
80s. Yep. It's this
Because it looks so much better in that movie.
you know,
they
you know what
recycled it
actually
for-
from what I've heard,
Back
That's
to the
cool.
Future.
That's awesome.
The courthouse was in Athens. There's a part of that movie that is in Athens. That's filmed in Athens.
Really?
Yeah. I've been to Athens. It's a nice town.
It's a good looking downtown. It kind of, honestly, their downtown reminds me a lot of our downtown because we have a nice downtown.
We do have a nice downtown. I
like
agree.
a lot of people's downtowns, like they don't have like where their
to-
courthouse is like the centerpiece of their downtown.
Yeah,
like
our
ours is.
courthoug's is gorgeous.
It's
Like,
awesome. I love our downtown.
Our
yeah.
downtown is still pretty. Our downtown is still pretty nice considering that every once in a while you got to look past the meth head.
I love to walk around down there.
Yeah, I do too. I like just look up and see all the old architecture.
And you always find new things. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
I always I'll look up and be like, I never noticed that.
Never
before.
noticed that.
Yeah.
Like, it's great.
I had to put this in there because it's literally, I told you guys this is like my favorite part. Kate's Santa story proved to be controversial. The studio execs wanted it removed because they thought it was too ambiguous about whether it was supposed to be sad or funny.
Yeah.
Director Joe Dante refused, saying that it represented the movie as a whole, which has a combination of comedic and horrific events. Executive producer Steven Spielberg had complete executive and creative control, and he did not like the scene, but he viewed the movie as Dante's project and sided with him to leave it in. Good on him.
Yeah.
Originally, Stripe and Gizmo were the same character. Steven Spielberg insisted that one of the Gremlins should be a good guy so that the audience would identify with it, and Joe Dante believes that this decision is why the film is so fondly remembered.
Yeah, because it was Gizmo versus Stripe at the end, essentially.
Yeah. In Cantonese, Mogwai means devil, demon, or gremlin. So that's why they were given that name. One of the studio notes to Steven Spielberg and Joe Dante, this is hilarious, and Joe Dante, after seeing the first cut of the movie, was that there was too many gremlins. Spielberg responded by suggesting to cut all them out and change the movie name to People.
That's a good, smart-ass fucking... That is a good answer. Like, all right, well, we'll just cut them all out and change the movie to People.
Yeah. Okay,
That's
so
awesome.
going back to the PG thing that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
This movie and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, both released in 1984, are credited with inspiring the creation of the PG-13 rating. Many felt that these movies were too violent for a PG rating.
What was the other one?
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Okay.
Which is actually one of the movies I've been thinking about picking.
Oh, that's a great movie. Too violent for a PG rating, but not violent enough for an R rating.
Yeah, I can see that.
They came up with the PG-13 because of these two movies.
Right.
Definitely I can definitely see it with Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom before I can this one though.
I don't know. There's
Isn't that the one where the guy's got the whip and stuff, and or the sword, and Indiana Jones just pulls out his gun, and then he just shoots him?
Yeah, no, that's in.
Is that Raiders?
Yeah, I think that's in Raiders.
New one?
Yeah, I know. There's already a trailer for it.
From what I've seen, though, I seen a video today that I didn't watch, but it said why Hollywood hates our favorite male role models, and it had a picture of Indiana Jones on it.
No, it's just because the movies are ridiculous now.
Well, this is what the video said.
Yeah, the last one had aliens in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually thought...
I didn't hate it, but
I didn't either.
I didn't hate it, but I hated
he
that
hid
they...
in a fridge during a nuclear...
Yeah, like that...
You know, that's all over. Like, there's a thing in Fallout New Vegas. It's called Wild Wasteland, and it puts in strange stuff. And there's actually a part where you get a special hat because you go over to it, and there's a refrigerator with a skeleton in it.
That's great.
You get the suave gambling hat.
Chris Columbus's script went through a few rough drafts before the shooting script was given a go-ahead. His original version had the gremlins killing the dog and cutting the mom's head off, tossing it down the stairs at Billy.
That would have been dark.
And Joe Dante in the studio wanted it to be a little more family-friendly.
Yeah.
Spielberg had seen some of Tim Burton's earlier short films and had considered him to film this movie. He ultimately decided against it because Burton hadn't directed a full-length movie yet. Joe Dante prefers Gremlins 2 to this movie. During a night shoot, there was such severe problems with the Gremlins puppets that the entire cast fell asleep during a delay. The Gizmo puppets were the most frustrating because they were smaller and they broke down more often. So to satisfy the crew, the scene was included where the Gremlins hang Gizmo on the wall and throw darts at him. This was on a list that the crew created called the Horrible Things to Do to Gizmo list. Because they hated the puppets so much. This film opened against Ghostbusters and only did better than Ghostbusters in one place. Can you guys guess where?
China.
It's in America.
New York.
Chinatown.
In New York. Because the New Yorkers were still furious about traffic disruptions while Ghostbusters was being filmed there for months.
That's awesome.
There's many Easter eggs to E.T. in this movie. I don't know if you guys saw them. I noticed a few of them. One of the Gremlins says phone home.
And then I also saw the little doll or the little stuffed animal in the toy store.
One of the Gremlins says phone home when he pulls the phone.
I pointed that out to Crystal, actually. I said, it's like, I said, it's E.T. She's like, what's that going to do? I was like, Steven Spielberg.
Right. When he pulls the phone wires out of the wall, there's a stuffed E.T. In the store, and one of the movies on the marquee says A Boy's Life, which is the fake name that E.T. shipped to theaters under.
Okay, I wondered if that was supposed to mean something, but I didn't know it was A Boy's Life was the name of the E.T. movie.
Yeah, it was the name that they shipped E.T. to under. Zach Galligan was the first to point out that the don't feed after midnight rule didn't make sense, because when does after midnight end? Joe Dante told him, we'll make fun of it in Gremlins 2, which they did.
Yeah.
So
I had to watch Gremlins 2.
Right, like he said, we're not going to fix it. We'll just make fun of it in the second one. So, one of the reasons for the no bright lights rule was that in 1984 they could not navigate the special effects of the puppets that well. So by keeping them in the dark, this hid the problem. Dante did the same thing with the tricky special effects in The Howling 3 years earlier, keeping the monsters in the dark to hide the special effects problems. Though he followed the basic outline of the script, Hoyt Axton, which was the dad, improvised most of his lines. Howie Mandel, who voiced Gizmo, while Michael Winslow voiced all of the Gremlins. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Michael Winslow did the Gremlins.
Yeah, Michael Winslow's the black guy from Police Academy. Makes all the weird noises. Okay.
The educational film in the movie was written and directed by Frank Capra, who also directed It's a Wonderful Life. How random is that?
Because The Wonderful Life shows a scene in the...
Yeah, it's just really random. Oh. And Jeremiah actually noticed this when we were watching the movie, but on the Deagle real estate sign, the hours of operation are only from 10:30 to 11:15 Monday through Friday. So for 45 minutes a day. Mushroom the dog.
I don't know how that bitch is making any money.
No shit.
Goddamn.
Mushroom the dog, who played Barney, also played Lance Henriksen's dog in the cult horror film Mushroomhead.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew his name was
Mushroom. I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that, though.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. The film's budget was $11 million.
That dog is probably the most He's probably the most paid actor.
No doubt. I mean, come on.
In like Hollywood, dude.
No shit.
Other than like anything that was in like multiple movies or a series or some kind, like Lassie or something.
Yeah. The film's budget was $11 million, but it made $148 million domestically. The reason Billy hangs out with a 13-year-old is because Corey Feldman was cast before Billy was aged up. He was supposed to be much younger originally.
You can tell that though.
Because the toys, I mean, like
he has in his room and shit stuff.
Well, then how were they working that in with his girlfriend, his love interest, working in a bar?
The original script didn't have a lot of those aspects. Like why did
I did think it was weird that Billy, being a grown ass man, was hanging out with a 12-year-old
When you think
boy.
of some of the other aspects, it makes sense why his dad would buy him a pet. Why there's toys under the tree.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about certain other aspects, that makes more sense.
They have to do a lot of rewriting because he works in a bank.
Yeah.
I thought about listing that because I thought it was weird the way he says his son, and his son is a grown man.
Yeah.
And he buys him a pet. Like, if my kid's grown, I'm going to be like, why don't I pay to get your car
job?
fixed? Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got a job, but I'd be like,
I'm going to buy you some new work boots.
Why don't I pay to get your car fixed? Let's take it in and find out what's wrong with it.
So
I'll
you
pay
can
to
get your ass to
car
work
fixed.
and you can move out of my house.
Let's see. The two swords hanging on the wall in the Peltzer home are the same props used by Buffy and Angel in their climactic battle in season 2 of Buffy. What? That's fun.
That's some old shit. Like, Goddamn.
Is that not fun? I thought that was fun.
But where the fuck could them props have been sitting all that time?
I don't know.
Because I didn't think about it at first, but yeah, those movies were made those shows.
Yeah, that's like what, early 2000s? Buffy was out, or no, it was earlier than that.
It was earlier than that.
It was in the 90s, wasn't it?
Mid to late 90s.
Yeah, mid to late 90s. But even then, like, you're still saying that
those swords were.
They were sitting around for at least 10 years. At least 10. Actually, longer than that.
Movie wise, that's not all that long.
10 to 15 years.
Especially
they were sitting
swords.
Yeah, you don't.
I guess, but it's just funny that them props were just sitting around that long.
Yeah.
You know.
I thought it was fun.
It is fun. That's cool, though.
Deleted scene shows that Gerald was hiding in the bank vault the whole time that the Gremlins were running wild.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I always wondered what happened to him. Like, where do some of these other people go?
You would think that he would have had some sort of like
little appearance,
kind of like
Miss Deagle. He would show up at the end like crawling out of some hole or something. Where'd he go?
And then get something dropped on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
at the end, they could have had him peeking out the vault.
Yeah, something.
Maybe he comes walking through the street like, "Oh my God, guys, you survived!" And then he gets hit by a car.
So that's it for trivia.
Hit by a car, but okay.
Because something bad has to happen to him because he's not a good person.
Yeah, but that's it for trivia. There was a lot, but I'll tell you, my hand was feeling like it was gonna fall off. So Matt, you're up next week, and we don't have to play the game because
we can. We can still play it.
I got it. Scrooged.
Yes.
Ah, yes.
Damn it, you didn't even give me a chance.
Get over it.
That's right, I am picking the Scrooge. It's not the Scrooge. It's Scrooged. It's one of the funniest adaptations of the Christmas Carol.
I'm pretty sure it's the 900 only funny adaptation.
Nah,
the Muppets did okay.
Oh wait, they also have that Spirited movie that just came out with Will Ferrell.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
who's gonna watch that?
I thought about it.
Yeah, get off it. I might.
I don't like Will Ferrell, but I actually thought about picking Treasure Muppet, the Muppet one.
I actually just bought Scrooge. It just came in the mail today on Blu-ray for me. So.
Really?
I've owned it for many years. Yeah. I watch this every year.
I feel I've watched. Usually, I have to wait till it's on TV to see it. But yeah, this year I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and order it.
This started because Jack was really into Ghostbusters when he was little. Yeah. I don't know why.
It wouldn't be his mother.
Probably not. But he was really into Ghostbusters, and as such, he really liked Venkman. Yeah. And so for Christmas one year, we were talking about Christmas movies and stuff, and he happened to see this one on the shelf or whatever. He's like, "That's Venkman," and I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I want to watch it." So we started watching it. It became kind of something we watch every year. So
it's a good one.
He's in hot water right now. Bill Murray is.
Yeah, I heard.
Why?
Because he's a dick.
He's a dick. Sexual misconduct. Just harassing people on sets and
he's
shit
always
like
been
that.
a dick.
He's always been an asshole.
See, I don't.
This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody.
Talk to Seth Green straight said on a podcast. He said, "Yeah, the first time I ever met Bill Murray,
picked me up on my feet, threw me in a trash can,
put me in a trash can."
And he was like 9.
But Bill Murray's always been an asshole.
Yeah. I've heard that, but I don't read much.
He's like Chevy Chase, dude. A lot of people don't like working with him.
And that's why they never got along.
Yeah, they didn't either. They hated each other.
I don't read a lot of entertainment.
Although a lot of the time,
I've kind of heard he was always kind of a douche.
Yeah, although a lot of the time with the Chevy Chase thing, Bill was sticking up for other people. But,
right? Yeah.
But that I'm not sticking up for Bill either. Bill has always been a dick.
Yeah.
This should not be a surprise to anyone. I'm saying.
But it also shouldn't be something that's okay.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I know that you're funny and you're rich, whatever, but it doesn't give you the right. You know, treat other people like human beings, dude. And I don't like Chevy Chase for that reason. I like his movies. I think he's funny, but him as a person, he's a fucking dirtbag. Because I've heard so many stories about him on the Community.
It's good that they're starting to call out this behavior, that it shouldn't be warranted, that it shouldn't be allowed, just because you've got talent.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Because some of them people who out there who actually have a lot of talent are good fucking people. You know what I mean? Like, so don't think that you're better than anyone, because I guarantee you that somebody out there is better than you. So
absolutely not. I agree. So the plot synopsis for next week's movie, Scrooged, is Frank Cross is a wildly successful television executive whose cold ambition and curmudgeonly nature has driven away the love of his life. But after firing staff member Elliot Loudermilk on Christmas Eve, Frank is visited by a series of ghosts who give him a chance to reevaluate his actions and right the wrongs of his past.
There was a word that I've never heard.
Curmudgeonly?
Yeah.
It just means like you're really grumpy.
I mean, that's what I figured it means, but I've never heard that word used.
Curmudgeon? You never heard curmudgeon?
I've heard curmudgeon, not curmudgeon.
Yeah, curmudgeon. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, so that's our show this week, and I guess that's it. So, okay, bye.
Bye.
I beat you.
Bye.